start the
Wait,
It's
intention.
already going
wait.
live on her.
No, Tracy.
I am.
Tracy's is
Oh,
live.
okay. Well, you called me Tracy. That's why I was like, what?
Sorry. You're live, Trace.
That's cool.
Hi, guys. Welcome in to TR's Tarot Talk 1111, an accurate AF tarot.
Hey,
You know I
guys.
did that on purpose, right?
They can
And don't forget Jove Star Astrology.
Jovies.
So-
Jove Star. Hi, guys.
What's
How's
funny?
it going? We're a little bit late, but the party's always here. So, just wanna-
Yes, but every time we do this, we learn something new. So eventually we're going to get it perfect.
You know, I don't know if we ever will get anything perfect, but you know, it's worth a shot. Maybe just being 10 minutes late.
Well, actually, we're 30 minutes late, but
You know what? On a positive note, it's better than an hour. You know?
Yeah. Do we have folks? I'm going to look in your chat with because
Hey.
mine is not up. And I'll look. There we go.
I know I'm trying to find
Oh my gosh.
Hey, halftime. What's going on? Who's counting? You know.
Hey, we're there. All right, let me turn the volume down.
Yay. Hey, Rosa. How's it going?
So I can only see my subs texting. Is
That's
that
okay. And
okay?
Whitney can see
All right.
hers. So, yeah. Are we going to let people file in? I see there's 11 in Whitney's. How many
Hey,
do you have,
Matthew.
Trace?
Hey, Caesar.
I have 7 in
Okay.
mine.
Okay. Good.
Everybody say hi. Make sure you let me know you're in the room. Hit that thumbs up for all of us, whoever you're
Yes.
watching.
That would be
Make sure you-
amazing.
Hit the thumbs up.
So as far as like the full moon is or the new moon is concerned, what are
Yeah.
some things that you guys noticed? I'm curious. What are some things you've noticed with this this new moon energy?
Well, for starters, technical stuff. I mean, this is a new moon in Aquarius, but we are still in Mercury retrograde.
Totally.
But yeah, I mean, I think I've noticed like my energy is a little bit like I can feel like a little bit of nervousness, but then I don't really know what to do or, you know, like how to like get it out, have an outlet. So I don't know.
You know how I got my energy out yesterday.
Yeah.
So I've been struggling with technology for 2 days now, and I'm about done with Mercury. Me and Mercury is gonna have it out.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Well, it's
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I'm definitely over it.
Over
the
tomorrow.
Mercury retrograde.
Over.
As far as the energies for me, I don't know about you, Whitney, but doing my monthly zodiacs, there seems to be a commonality in all of the zodiacs, and I'm seeing a lot of union energies. I'm hoping I'm not wrong.
No, I think that there's a lot of people from the past that are making their way in, or I also see like a lot of newer connections that are starting to bud too, which I think is beautiful. And I also think that there's a lot of people that are having certain like revelations of what the fuck did I do? You know what I mean? Like I think that there's like a lot of like moments for people that have done people wrong, and I think it's because as a collective we're tired of the shit, and as a collective I think we're saying enough is enough. I'm walking away, and I think that that's why it's triggering other people to have a different type of reaction.
I agree.
Yes,
I think that,
I agree.
yeah, I agree. I think that, you know, all of the retrogrades, you know, this cycle, and I know we can talk about, you know, each of these things, but when we get into the astrology, this new moon cycle is a carryover, and I'll explain that, the relation to that, from events that occurred last year. So it's really kind of interesting. And, you know, the Capricorn and the retrograde started in December, but we can actually go way back to December 2020, January 2021. So,
Totally.
yeah, so you're right. Like, there's been a lot that's gone on. So whoever's had, I see a buffering, but
Oh, there you go, Julene.
yeah,
You're back.
There you are. I think you are back.
There we are. Mine was buffering too, but now
Mine looks like it's melting.
Oh no. Let we gonna have the same
So
problem again?
is everybody's working or just?
Hey,
Ugh.
Stevie. I don't know. Can you guys see us, or is it just my side that looks like there's little ants running all over?
Well, it's good on Tracy's channel. Yours just did that same thing that it did was when he was trying to set it up.
Now on
Uh,
my side,
Let
I'm
me go
I'm
back.
looking at it and Whitney looks good. She looks good on
Oh,
mine.
I wonder if
Maybe
it's because
she,
it's on. I think
uh,
it's my channel in particular that's having the issue, though.
it is, but Tracy's looks good. Yours is, it looks
Everyone
like
says
this.
no, it's melting.
It
Hey,
is
Rosa.
melting.
Hey, water for your house, huh?
There is something wrong with Whitney's stream. And this is what was happening before we got it to go, Whitney. It's doing the same thing, but it's not doing it on Tracy's. I'm looking at it. I don't know what is going on.
Me neither, because I live out in the sticks and usually it's mine that gives us grief.
I don't think, you know what, with all the trouble that we had, I don't think there's anything we can do to, like, this is just a, like, problem for tonight.
And so
Um,
Whit, can you ask your people if they can hear you okay?
They can hear me. It just it says you're all gray, recommending a restart. So,
I don't think it's going to help because this is what he struggled with and restarted 3 times. And then once he got it, it reverted right back. So he just texted me and he said there's definitely just something wrong with your stream. And he doesn't know. At this
okay.
point, shoot. Um,
So just tell your people that you're going to post the video.
Okay.
Okay, I can even share, one of us can share the link and you can post the video. And they can stay live with you because they can hear you, right? They
Yeah.
just see
Do you guys want me to stay live even though you can't see the cards or you can't see anything? Or do you guys want me to post a link where you guys can watch it? What do you want to do? Do you want me to still stay on here? Because at least I can see your comments and reply and you guys can hear everything. You just can't physically see everything. Are you cool with that? Should I take a poll? Let me just create a poll really quick.
skillful. They're
Stay
saying,
live.
I mean, it's a nice, pretty melting. It's very, very colorful.
Totally. Yeah, no,
Oh
totally.
my gosh. Okay.
all of my people are saying, y'all look perfect. So on my stream, everybody looks perfect.
Okay, so somebody said they're cool with listening. All right, well, if you guys are okay
So,
with it, I posted a poll. I don't know.
you know,
I mean, they
Whit,
could like just pop over and watch it on Tracy's. I mean, it's up to you. It's up to them, whatever they want to do. I don't even have mine up because we were having trouble.
It's
So.
weird. Okay, well, I'm just gonna keep it up because they said that they're cool just listening, that they can hear us fine. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get into it then.
All right.
okay.
Whatever we're gonna do.
So, first of all, thanks again, you guys, and the technical stuff. I don't even know these guys. Tracy and Whitney know it's just getting it fine tuned is really tricky. So thanks for being patient again.
Totally.
But I mean, you know, maybe the wacky energies in the air as we start to come down out of that, we'll have an easier time. I don't know, but
I don't know, but my little screen just turned to beautiful rainbow now. It looks like somebody threw up rainbow on the screen. So at least it's no longer gray. We're living in some type of some type of
So
energy.
Whit, since mine's coming through perfectly, if your people want to see the cards when you read, they could pop over to my channel and watch the live there, and they'll be able to see everything.
Yeah, let me find it. I'll find it right now, and then I'll post it in the chat just in case you guys do want to pop over there. So hold on.
Cool. So do we want to start with the astrology? I mean, everybody's, we don't even have to introduce ourselves because our names are right above our picture. Conveniently.
Whatever you want to do.
Conveniently. We are going to go through all the rising signs, and Tracy and Whitney are obviously going to pull cards for everybody, and that's going to be awesome. And I think what they're going to do is alternate signs and then throw in a little bit of feedback per sign, and I'm going to obviously do the astrology. So I can start off, I mean, with the collective message. I can start off with the collective astrology if you want. Or do you guys want to start off with the collective tarot? Should we draw straws?
Why don't you do the astrology first? Because then when we do the tarot, we've got Whitney and I, who don't know a lot about astrology, will have something to work with.
Okay.
Oh, also too, I think Julene, you wanted to talk about altering, right?
Yeah, I did. I said
Yes.
for you guys alternating, and you guys can figure out how you want to do that. But I know I mentioned to Tracy that you thought you could alternate and then throw in a little tidbit back and forth at the end of your
Okay.
reading.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you were totally cool with that. Okay, sweet.
So I just wanted to say real quick before we get started, I was going to do a candle service, but with all the technical glitches and everything, we're just going to all go live tomorrow on my own with my people, because they like to do the manifestation ritual.
Totally.
And so
Sorry, guys.
that's okay. We'll do it. So anybody listening, I will go live tomorrow evening and we can do the candle ritual together.
Hey, Caesar. Oh, they hopped on. Oh, good. I'm glad that you guys hopped on. Yeah, if you guys want to actually physically watch it, you can go to Tracy's channel, which is TRS Tarot Talk 1111. That's where you'll actually be able to physically see the cards. But if you're cool with like the rainbow throw up and just some words, then stick around and I'll try to like see both of them. I'll try to respond to both comments.
It's like eating magic mushrooms. I feel
like that's our life, right?
Right? Okay, so new moon in Aquarius astrology. This new moon occurred on February 1st on the eastern seaboard at 12:45 a.m. And so that if you are in the Mountain Standard or Central or Pacific, it actually happened on January 31st. And what's cool about that, and what a lot of astrologers are talking about, is that actually makes 3 lunar events in the month of January, which is really unusual. So,
yes,
wow,
it's super unusual. But I've been thinking a lot about that, and I'm like, well, with all of this Capricorn, all the planets transiting Capricorn and retrograding back and forth, I kind of feel like that wasn't an accident. It's sort of like, okay, we need to kind of pull all of that in, because that month of January was all about contemplating and reviewing and making sure that whatever was going on in our love life or with our finances, Mercury with how we're perceiving and thinking about what it is that we want to do with all of that we've actually had time to pull all of that in before we jump into February, which is Aquarius season. And so the new moon occurred and at 12 degrees, which is important, 12 degrees Aquarius. You're going to want to look at your birth charts and see if where 12 degrees of Aquarius sits in your chart, because that's where this new moon is hitting. And also, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, so we have a Uranus effect, and Uranus has been transiting in Taurus and squaring Saturn, which was a big astrological event 3 times last year. And so it's pulling in the events of 2021 and then all of the Capricorn to sort of review and make sure that what we're doing and thinking about is responsible and that it's something we want to move into 2022. So as the new moon occurs, that's a time for setting intentions, right? It's the beginning of the lunar cycle for the month, and we need to think about, and that's what we've been doing in January, thinking about everything that we actually want to make real in our lives, because Capricorn is real. And so Aquarius is like, okay, now I'm ready to go. It's like, I'm either going to be rebellious, I'm either going to be thinking outside the box. I mean, Uranus rules Aquarius. It's the mad scientist, it's the revolutionary, it's also the genius, but it is the planet of sudden change. So we have this new moon that's traveling with Saturn and still all of the Capricorn energy. So Saturn is sort of like going to hold Aquarius back just a smidge and balance that out, because it's like, well, you might have all of this genius manifestation that you worked on and worked hard for in Capricorn season, and you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So with those retrogrades, it's sort of saying, okay, now, yeah, just kind of hang tight, because Venus just came out of retrograde and Mercury comes out of retrograde tomorrow. So it's just kind of spacing it out a little bit, because one thing we know about Saturn is Saturn wants you to do it the right way. Wants you to be committed to whatever it is going on. So this is very contemplative. Universally, this is kind of a big deal, the way all of these energies are transiting. So some of you may have been like an issue in a relationship from last year could come back up again suddenly. Like something could change for the good if something went sideways. It could break away completely. You could have decided it didn't work for you. Same with your finances, everything that Capricorn represents, especially with the Venus transit, and then with Mercury actually giving us a chance to settle into, are we hearing things correctly? Are we processing it correctly? And are we actually ready to communicate things correctly? So that's really what this new moon is. It's like, set your intentions based on what you've been building, and not to forget, like, look and see where this is in your chart, 12 degrees of Aquarius. Also look and see where Uranus, which is in Taurus. So look at the Taurus spot in your chart, because that is where that's been occurring, and that area of life could also be affected by this new moon and then the full moon that's coming up, and that's where a sudden change or an expansion could occur for you. So it's interesting, and astrologers are talking about it because it's conjunct Saturn, and Saturn has a little, Aquarius has a little trouble with Saturn, but there's a reason. It's a balancing act. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting month. In a couple of weeks, before the full moon, we've got Mars and Venus that are going to come conjunct. And with all of this energy, you could see a lot of changes. Then that's when the action starts after Mercury comes out of retrograde. That's when the passion starts. Maybe even aggression, everything that could represent Mars. But, in Capricorn, it's pretty responsible. So we've got a balance there coming in on February 8th through the end of the month. And we'll be talking more about Mars and Venus conjunct. But because they're so close together, that's why I'm talking about it. All of this is really close to this new moon. So you're setting your intentions and thinking back to what was left undone. What went sideways? What issues were you dealing with? What broke free and changed in 2021, and what's coming back for review? And you all might know that. Did you break up in 2021 and somebody came back during these retrogrades?
They all come back.
Anything like that. Exactly.
Might come back.
But that might not be a bad thing, because maybe now with all this Capricorn energy, it's like that Saturn. Saturn wants it to be committed. So whatever it is, the idea is that we've planned this out and thought it out carefully, and it's what is good for us. And if it's not, it's probably going to go. So that's the astrology.
I think too, like with Aquarius, like it's a super funky energy, right? Like it's an energy where it kind of has like that bucket in its system. So I always feel like it's like the police chasing the other one, where it's like, like just people are bucking the system. People are doing the opposite of what they usually do. They feel very strongly behind what they're doing, right? So I don't know. I think this is an exciting time for sure.
Yeah.
I keep if you guys hear big bangs, it's because where I live, we had like 3 feet of snow, and now it's melting, and it's falling off the roof of the trailer. And then later tonight, it's going to refreeze, and we're getting 28 more inches. So big bangs is all the ice falling off of the top of the
Big
trailer.
bang, big changes. Did you guys pull cards for the collective while I was doing the astrology?
No,
I'm excited
no,
to see
we were.
what you guys come up with.
I just think that there's the energy right now. It's not as like I don't feel like as emotional. I feel like it's a very logical, very intuitive type of energy where I think that there's a level of chaos because there's so many downloads coming at one time. It's hard to separate what's what. But I think the dope thing about still having that Capricorn energy is that it's organizing all these thoughts and it's getting shit down on, paper, and it's doing something, right? Because it's organized chaos. That's what I think.
So I don't know how you feel intuitively, but when I was doing, so I don't have all of my zodiacs done because we've been having weather issues that have been delaying my uploads. But one thing I've noticed is a tower card in almost every single reading that I've done, and how it feels to me intuitively is it feels like a lot of unresolved. So excuse me, I'm seeing like that. I don't know if you guys, or if you use oracles, but there's an oracle deck that says unfinished symphony. And that's what it feels like to me. It feels like there are certain cycles or relationships or things that are unfinished that I'm ready to wrap up one way or the other. And it feels like an emotional dam has been there for me at least, for a while. But it feels like eventually it's just going to give way. And all of that energy of holding back, of keeping your, so I channel, and I'm hearing in my head spiritual bypassing, where we don't want to say certain things in certain relationships, whether they're romantic or friendship or otherwise. Because we want to take the high road, we want to be the spiritual person, and we don't want to upset anybody. But it's kind of spiritually bypassing because we're not speaking our truth and we're people pleasing. And so it kind of feels like as the collective grows in this energy, there's going to be a lot of big talks, is what it feels like to me.
I think that ties back to what we were saying originally, though, right? Like, I think that as a collective, the people that have done the right thing consistently, right? I think that everybody is getting to a point where they're at their wits' end because they've been doing this for a period of time. So I feel like we're allowing the people to have their karma, because at the end of the day, every time that we stay in a position or every time that we interfere with karma, what happens is we absorb that person's karma and nothing ever changes. What changes is when we remove ourselves and that person can have their karma, and then these towers fall. And I feel like doing it as a collective, totally.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yep. Well, I know personally, now I know you guys both resonate with being twin flames, but I know in my twin flame relationship, it was profound because I do counseling with a lot of divine feminines, and it seemed like, at least in my group of divine feminines, the masculines kind of fell off grid around January 6th. And I thought that was weird how it, like all the girls I talked to, they're like, oh, we were going out on dates, we were talking, we were texting, and then boom, gone. Like no excuse, no, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you, just off grid. And I feel like what you're saying, Whitney, is true. I think a lot of the divine feminines have done their work and they're just not chasing anymore. And so I can't wait to see how those towers are going to fall.
Yeah, I think this is an exciting time. Maybe I'm just a weirdo and I have issues, but I'm like, I'm excited to see what comes because it's only a matter of time.
That's right. One way
What
or
goes
the
up
other.
has to come down.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And you know, when Pluto's traveling with Mercury, so what you're saying is kind of like it parallels the astrology because Pluto and Mercury, it's like are we communicating things correctly? Are we perceiving it correctly? And Pluto's bringing those things up to the surface so that we can communicate that out. And Pluto will blow things up it's not sturdy either, but it also opens our eyes and shows us what's really there and gives us the power, right, to move from obsession to actually control, not control, but actually being able to transform that in a way that suits us best. How's that? And
Totally.
so, yeah.
Think about it. When Pluto hits, right, it levels everything. And it really does take you to a spiritual place because you're like, okay, well, what else do I have to cling to at this point?
Right.
Besides like a sense of, you know, somebody or a higher power or a higher understanding. So I don't know. I'm excited. I don't want to say that too loud because I don't want the universe to come and like crack me in the back of the head. So I'm going to say that in a whisper.
Yeah. I think a lot is changing, and this year is going to be an epic year for the collective and for structures in our society as well as relationships and how we value them, how we operate in them. And the beginning of this year is kicking that off. And gosh, I think the month of February is going to be off the chain. I think that all of us will see something. Either we'll see something out there that happens that is just maybe even a 180 or very surprising, or we'll feel it and see it and have it happen in our own in our own lives. Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah.
So, Whitney, can I ask you something?
Totally.
I've just recently been introduced to your channel, and I've been using your deck in all of the zodiacs. And like I said, I've only got, I think, I don't know, 7 or 8 done. I've got a few more to get done. But so in your deck, it's the normal 78 tarot, and then you have the bonus twin flame card.
Yes.
I've gotten that bonus twin flame card in so many readings in the zodiacs. And so I have my YouTube channel, but I also have my Patreon. And I do most of my twin flame stuff on Patreon because I think YouTube is kind of keeping the divine feminines in that codependency.
Yes.
So I started a Patreon group that is all twins, and we don't focus on the masculines, we focus on us and what we need to cultivate to prepare for union. But I was just wondering, have you been getting that twin flame card a lot?
Yeah, it's interesting though, because I am getting that card, but I'm also getting it paired with other cards where it's a false twin flame. So it's funny because I just recorded Scorpio, and my take on twin flames right now is I feel like, and I know that there's a lot of people that are not going to like me saying this, but this is how I truly feel. I feel like twin flame, the idea of a twin flame relationship is very romanticized, right? Which is fantastic. The problem is
until they're a real twin flame, right?
Exactly, right? But see, what's happening is this is romanticized. So every relationship that everybody is in, it's considered a twin flame relationship.
Right.
So what's happening is people are staying in these toxic environments or these toxic relationships and not breaking free due to it's a twin.
Right.
When in reality, it's a karmic relationship. So,
well, in the astrology, that what you just said is true. In the astrology, it doesn't matter whether it's a divine connection or a soulmate, they are usually past life connection. You can see it in the astrology. There's a lesson or a process or a plan that you've agreed to live out. You can see it in the North and South Node connections and the synastry charts. And they are not, there are not specific, and Tracy and I have talked about this. She's like, oh, my viewers would really like to see if you can mark this out. The thing is there are not specific exact markers for what people might call twin flame relationships. I do see a lot of Neptunian connections in these soulmates, but I see a lot of Pluto and Saturn. And so it's like, for yourself what your experience is. And that's what I tell people. It's like, I can't tell you what this is. I can tell you what the journey is and what the lessons are. But karmic, or whatever you want to call it, because really,
they're all karmic.
Exactly. It's about transformation. Yeah, it's about transformation and lessons, no matter how you look at it.
Real split soul twins. Well, it doesn't matter because there's 3 waves, right? There's 3 types. And so they're all karmic. Every one of them, you come in with, except for monad. I think monad is, at least from, some of the channelings that I've had and that I've also seen other readers have. There's a group of them that are old souls and they've kind of already cleared their karma from past lives. But if you resonate with being a split soul twin, you're here to clear karma. So
and first and foremost, it's your journey, right?
Right.
That you've got to get a handle on.
Well, that's the first union.
Right.
The first union is with self or source.
So, but anyway, like this new moon, I think you could see changes in relationships and everything else. And yeah, Tracy, I think that it could happen, that's going to affect those kinds of relationships. And Whitney, I agree with what you said too. Here's what I always say. Everybody's experience is true because it's their experience. Right. And therefore it's valid, right? So I don't, we can't put people in categories. I just did a video about that in a different context where, putting people in categories, it's like, you're here and you're here. So, but this new moon in Aquarius, it wants to bring everybody together. That's the thing. It's about the collective and the community, and it's about humanitarianism, and it's about accepting everybody for our differences. And so that the new moon, whatever the weird and strange and abrupt that might happen, I think, part of the lesson right now is that we are, we need to roll with it and open up our mind and, entertain different types of things, a lot of out of the box type of stuff. So do we want to do the signs? Huh?
Yeah, I was just going to say this. I know that because I'm kind of reading both the comments, and this is Tika's first time that she's on here, and she's saying that this is very accurate and that a lot of people are thinking like they're going crazy, but they're not, right? So it's, and like Jesse said, I think on your channel, it's just the experience, but it's really interesting to kind of see everybody's different perspective on everything. So
yeah,
pretty stoked.
Yes.
That's what's cool about these. We all have a different take and a different experience. You, me, Tracy, but we can have a conversation about it, and we can be okay with, be okay with the fact that we see things differently and experience things differently. So that's a lot. We've been talking about doing this stuff for a long time, and that's a lot of what we all want to accomplish at the end of the day, is no matter what comes out, is that we're each able to reach a group of people that resonate with us, and that we can all bring them together, and we can appreciate one another. And so that's all about Aquarius, right? That's in Aquarius season. So I think it's really cool that we're actually doing this to kick off Aquarius season. That's awesome.
So when we start the cards, wait, why don't you do, hold on. Well, I think I got it. I'm memorized by now.
Do you want me to do? Do you want to do? What sign? I guess what suites do you want to do, or suits? Do you want to?
Oh, you want to do it by suits, or you just want to go like ping pong? You do Aries, and I do.
Yeah, well, that it kind of ends up like that. Like, let's say I do Aries, I'll end up doing fire and air. Are you cool with doing water and earth?
Sure.
Or whatever you want to do.
No, I'm good. Water and earth is good. But so you just tell me when it's my turn. How's that?
Okay, so, oh gosh, that put me on the spot. It's weird. I keep hearing people talking to me, and I'm thinking it's my kids, and there's no one behind me. So, I'm getting a little freaked out.
There you go.
Sorry, that's why. So if you guys keep seeing me like turn behind me, I'm just like, alrighty then.
Do we want to start with the signs, Whit? Is that what you want to do, like we've done before, like the astrology and then the tarot, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay.
And then I think that we just need to know, what questions are we asking? Are we saying like what's coming in with the new moon? What are we like? What are we focused on? What do we need to stay away from? Like, what kind of questions are we asking?
I can tell you for each sign where this new moon is hitting, which will tell and what area of life. So maybe if you want to take it from there and try and relate it to whatever's going on in each rising signs where this new moon is hitting, it's totally up to you guys. I mean, that's what I'm going to do, is let everybody know this is where the new moon energy is hitting for each rising. So
then why don't you start, and you can say what's going on.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah, I can totally. Okay, so wait, you want me to go first, or do you want to go first, Julene?
No, you can go first, but why don't you? I mean, I don't know what you guys want to ask.
I'll do the astrology first, and then you guys can file with the cards.
There you go. That's good.
Is that okay?
That will work. Yeah, and then I'll just I'll have a couple of questions that I asked, and then I'll tell you guys what I'm asking as I'm pulling.
Yeah, and then I'll ask the same questions for the other signs.
Yeah, I think energy, what to focus on, and what's being emphasized. Well, I guess that's what to focus on, but maybe like some type of advice, right? What do we need to know, or what do we, that type of thing.
Are you using oracles at all? I brought some.
GM as asking what can we focus on, and so GM, keep an eye out as we go through this for your rising sign, and I'm going to tell you what to look out for in the astrology, and then Whitney and or Tracy will let you know what the tarot says, what the intuitively get and psychically they're getting. So, I don't know where Whit went. Did she just pop off, or where'd she go?
I know.
Oh, okay, she's there. All right, so
I don't see her on my. She's not on my screen anymore.
She had to pop away, but it was on purpose. So she's
yeah.
back.
Sorry, I just wanted to check because my bad.
As long as it was on purpose, I'm good with that.
Okay. Yeah, I think the things I'm going to focus on are energy, the overall energy of it, what we can focus on, so kind of like advice, and then also what to expect. So
Perfect.
I feel like I'll be good.
You guys, you guys. Okay, so we'll start with Aries. Aries, this new moon is happening in your 11th house of it's your social life. It's how you move around the community, your friends. It's how you view the world at large and how it sees you. What you want to do out there in the world, your hopes and dreams. So you've got this Saturn and this new moon energy in that house for you. And so it'll bounce off the 5th house, which is how you give love and how you actually, and then the 11th, which is how you receive it. So this is all about your social interaction and how you view the world and what you want to, how you want to see yourself. So you could have some changes going on in your friends group or in the community, and that if you think back to last year, and like I was mentioning with that Uranus that was squaring Saturn, did you have a change in friends? Did you lose friends and gain friends? Did some of them stick around and grow legs? Have you been thinking during Capricorn season, yeah, even if somebody came back that you no longer wanted to associate with, did you decide that you were going to move forward with that? Was it of integrity? Was it going to work for you? So keep an eye out for that area of life for you, Aries. Aries is a leader. And so out there in the community, they're seen as somebody who, can jump first and takes action and kind of brings the crowds together and leads it. And so you know, if they're feeling it in the group of people that they're with, they'll keep. Aries doesn't have a problem. Like, they'll leave people behind if people are too slow, or they'll find a new group of people to work with. So that's what Aries needs to. That's where this new moon is hitting. So keep an eye out for that.
Interesting. Well, it's always fascinating because I think Aries is always on the go, right? It's like going, going, going. Where I feel like with this new moon energy, it's interesting because the energy is death. Let me go over a little bit. So when you have this death energy, right? Like, there's some type of huge endings and huge transformations. I feel like there's a major overhaul with how you view things. The way that, you know, your perception was prior, I feel like perceptions are changing. I feel like there's some type of new beginning that's coming based on, you know, this unexpected change. And it's interesting, Aries, because I feel like this is hitting because there was a level of stall, or there was some type of stagnant energy, okay, especially with the Four of Pentacles, holding on to things from the past, things that you no longer need, right? We no longer need the cassette tape, okay? Why? Because we have our music streamed, right? Now, if you're somebody that is a collector, okay, fine. But it doesn't make sense to use that versus having something much quicker or much more efficient. So I feel like this is coming in here. It's about breaking down things that need to be left in the past, and also having a different way of thinking that's very intuitive, but yet very innovative. When it comes to what needs to be focused on, I feel like finance and career is significant right now. Hey, Carrie. I think finances and career is very important. I also think your body, there's something going on where you need to take care of your body, right? Whether that's exercising, drinking water, eating right. There's something here about really investing in yourself. That's something that you need to focus on. Pay attention to your stomach right now also, and what you're eating. I don't know why, but that's something that I feel like you guys need to focus on right now. And also too, be very particular with love, right? Like, really think about it. Like, the Nine of Pentacles, that's Venus and Virgo. So that's a very detail-oriented type of love, right? That's very detail-oriented. If you're somebody that loves blue and loves watches, or if you're somebody that likes a specific type of, I don't know, cologne or perfume or whatever, it's like, pay attention to those details, because I feel like those details ultimately is what takes you from one step to the next. What to expect? I feel like there's going to be some type of surprise communication coming in here. Unexpected, right? With the Page of Cups. I feel like there's going to be a message coming in some type of surprise, and I think you're going to be surprised, or I don't even know if surprise is the right word, but I think that you're going to feel like things are aligning, where you're realizing that you're admired by more people than what you think. So I think that there's going to be a few people coming forward. What about you? Do you think anything? What kind of energy do you get from Aries, Tracy?
Well, I didn't toss any cards on Aries, but I always feel like, you know, I channel more than I toss cards usually, but I feel like with Aries that they don't like to not move. Like you said, they really need that no anchors around their neck at all.
Nope.
And so I just kind of feel like I'm getting this energy because I just drew a card on it. I'm getting the Magician on it, but the bottom of the deck is the Five of Cups. I think that they're focusing on what they want to create, or need to focus on what they want to create, and focus less on what they weren't capable or didn't create, or things that didn't work out.
Yep. And I think like past stabilities, things that made them feel stable in the past, it's like, that's outdated thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, guess what? You don't need to light the candle. You can turn the light on. You know what I'm saying? So right. I feel like it's kind of like elevating the way that they're going about things.
Yes.
In their life.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's collective too. I don't know that that's just with Aries, but I think we've all been kind of dropping some of that old energy of doing things the hard way.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
Julene, you're next. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No.
We're
Go
going to
ahead,
move to
hon.
Taurus, right? And then you're going to do
Yep.
Okay. So we have Taurus. Taurus, the new moon is happening in your 10th house. And that's related to your family, your place of origin, and what you've grown into. So it could be how you're operating in your job, your commitments if you're in a marriage, any kind of legal type of agreements, which would include marriage, anything that is a higher level commitment. Your reputation, you want to look at things like that going on, and definitely your career. So again, same as I had mentioned before, and in the collective, what roll it back to last year and what was going on, if anything, in any of those areas, and did something change? Are you faced with making a decision? Did something come to did you realize something was going on, underneath the surface, and now after contemplating how you want to move forward with it or out of it. Again, Mercury going retrograde or coming out of retrograde tomorrow. I think you'll feel a bit of like that delay, and that if there was some confusion, you'll be able to move forward, or something may. Mercury is a messenger, so in retrograde it's held back, so it could come out. So look for something to occur and set intentions for whatever's gone sideways or whatever you've been working on. Set those intentions for how you're going to move through it, no matter what surprises might come your way. So that is going to be, again, in your career, how people see you out there in the world, how you actually make your mark in the world. So that is what's going on with Taurus for this new moon. So set those intentions. Yeah.
So I'm doing Taurus, right? I'm doing the earth sign. So what I'm getting for the energy, which is so funny, look what I got for the energy.
There's weird overhauls with energy. It's weird.
And just under that is the Wheel of Fortune and the Eight of Wands. Yep. So again, I'm getting this feeling of unexpected occurrences that really, because then I've got the moon, and I feel like this is something we're not really going to see. Where's my camera?
I know.
Is it showing, guys?
It's weird.
I know it's hard to see on the screen. I don't know what's going on. But there it is. Yeah. So what I got for energy was I got the Death card, and then I got the Fool and the Ace of Wands and the Moon. And so it really does feel to me like there's, you got to remember too, that we're still in eclipse season. And so a lot of those karmic contracts that are no longer in place, they've been figuring themselves out. They've been being released. They've been sewn up, closed out, right? So with the Death card, with the Fool and an Ace of Wands with the Moon, it kind of feels like we're not really sure. Taurus isn't really sure how they're moving forward. They just know they are, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm going ahead. I'm going to take that first step and just hope that there's that Spirit puts a nice rock underneath it and I land safely. Because then I've got the Hierophant for the Y.
Ooh.
So for the Y, I got the Hierophant, and I'm trying to find that sweet spot again.
Good one.
And so I do believe it's divinely guided. I believe it's about even people that don't normally feel like they're intuitive really truly are. And so we've been getting these intuitive nudges for a while now. And the North Node just moved into Taurus. And so Taurus is about to kind of receive whatever is theirs, right? And so I asked about what to expect, and I got the Three of Swords in reverse with the Queen of Swords in the upright. So I think what they can expect is anything that's been bringing them sadness or despair or even third-party situations are really kind of cinching up, like with that Death card. Those cycles, those karmic cycles are being called due by the universe, right? They're like, we're done with this. It's time for you to let go of that dead carcass you've been holding on to. And to kind of, I look at the Queen of Swords as my been there, done that, bought the t-shirt and the beer koozie chick, you know?
Yeah, that's the one for the cheap seats in the back. Hear what I gotta say.
That's
like
right.
that. Like, you hear her.
Yep. And so what you can expect, I think, is some closure in certain relationships or situations in your life, Taurus, that you've been inspired by spirit to kind of close. You know, it's been that push, and the more you resist it, the louder it seems to be getting, right? Because we've got the Eight of Wands with the Wheel of Fortune, with the Fool and the Ace of Wands. I mean, you can't get faster than that, can you? I mean, we're missing the Chariot, but I mean, with the Wheel of Fortune, the Eight of Wands, the Fool, the Ace of Wands, it really feels to me like Taurus could feel a little bit of a, well, quite a big push from the universe to start really looking at situations that bring them pain, that need closure and need to be healed and released, and just, you know, put up those nice, healthy boundaries. And I can love you from over there, right? And I can care without carrying.
Yeah, I can wish you well with not giving a fuck.
Exactly. You know, you can eat dinner and just not at my table.
Yeah, I'll throw you a bologna sandwich, dog, on the flip side.
Yes. So, what do they need to focus on? I think that kind of sums it up. I mean, I don't really want to toss any more cards. That was quite a bit. It just feels to me like what they need to focus on is where in their life have they been sitting in a sandbox, knowing that the sandbox is growing extremely small, and it's time to step outside of the box and start really facing those challenges and those fears around those kind of relationships, and just kind of take care of it.
I agree with that.
That's awesome.
I do.
Yeah.
I also think, though, like, with Taurus too, it's like, all right, you know, your house is on fire and it's time to move that ass. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yep.
You know, it's almost like, Taurus, if you don't move on your own, they're going to start showing you red, things that are going to piss you off, that are going to force you to move. And I just think it's because right now you desire more in life, and where you're standing, if you continue to stay sedentary, that's really doing a disservice to yourself. So it's really about letting go what no longer serves you. And I think turning your back, like, you're the Empress. Come on. Like,
Right.
I don't know. That's just me.
No, and it does feel to me, you know, like with that Hierophant, it really does feel like they've learned so much, and not just in their day-to-day life, but spiritually. Like they've really been getting that extra downloads, you know, like, wow, this really just isn't good for me anymore, you know, I need to go.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
And with the Eight of Wands too, especially with your deck, you know, it shows a woman receiving a phone call. So if there is, and with the Wheel of Fortune, I think, because you did mention romance, so if there's been stagnation in relationships, you just might get a call, or you might, you know, and it might come out of the blue with that Moon card. You may not even see it coming. But it is, and with the Three of Swords, it could be something that really needs to have that big conversation.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think it's, you know.
So Mara in the chat is asking, should this resonate more with rising signs?
Yes.
Is that what she heard?
For me,
So,
for
yeah,
the astrology, definitely. I think that you guys can hit both, because, you know, the astrology is a little bit more exact
Well,
and
you can
specific.
cross watch with the tarot.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can, absolutely. So, all right. Are we moving on to Gemini?
Yeah.
Okay, so Gemini, the new moon is happening. This is an expansion of your consciousness. It's learning and reviewing what it is that you believe, and with Saturn transiting in that area of life for you for a while now. You've probably had a lot of things, and that includes like expanding your intuition. So it's spirituality, and the new moon hits right there, traveling with Saturn. So this is a test of, it's like you're ready to, if you've come up, you come to realizations and you've learned a lot of things. Saturn is the teacher, and they say when the student is ready, the teacher will come. And so Gemini has had their nodal return the last 18 months, so I'm going to add that into this, and that has pushed them to really expand, because your consciousness affects your communication and how you perceive things, like figuring out what your truth is and how what you want to, how you want to put your life together. Is it working for you now? Is that changing? Do you believe what you've always believed, or do you want to put your stake in the world in terms of your beliefs in a different way? And so now, after a couple of years of doing that, this new moon is giving you the opportunity. It could be a lot of genius and ideas, and thinking outside the box of how you're going to take something new that you've been creating and actually put it out there in a tangible and a real way that's going to materialize for you in your life. So it's a big time, for Gemini, just coming out of there, especially, even if you didn't have your nodal return, that house was affected, so it transited there, even though your nodes may not have been there. So it's a lot of transition for Gemini, and that will affect, last year, like I talked about the Uranus transits, that has affected your intuition. So look for sudden intuitive or actually information to reveal itself and come out from where it might have been hidden, and Pluto's going to do that. So I think this, between now and the full moon, look for sudden changes in the area of how you're expanding yourself out in the world, and really what it is that you truly believe in, whatever's going on in situations, relationships, or jobs, or education even. Does it suit you? Does it work for you? If something goes sideways, it probably wasn't meant to stay with you, but set the intention for what you want, and then just sort of let it come to you. And through the end of the month, I think, whatever it is you're supposed to know it's gonna come into your consciousness, or you're just gonna flat out see it. We talked about that Pluto energy. It'll reveal itself, and you'll know what to do. So that's a big time for Gemini. Yeah.
Holy cannoli. Well, that's hard to follow up after that.
I know.
Gemini,
I'm
right?
like, she covered it all. What's left to talk about?
So it's interesting because I feel like, hidden underneath everything, and I feel like this is a lot of past energy, but there's been a lot of confusion, right? There's been a lot of illusions, and I think Gemini, that a lot of Geminis started to have almost this energy of Scorpio, in the sense of being worried about something or making something that it's not, right? It's not saying anything negative about Scorpio, but Scorpio is always like, not trusting, right? I get that there's a very not trusting energy, and I feel like there was something to the mystery, like the mystery behind what we didn't understand. So I feel like there was a fixation with that, and I feel like with this new moon energy, it's allowing you to see things for what it is, but it's also, again, similar to Aries energy, where it's from a different perspective. I think that there's something here about the rose-colored glasses coming off, but not where you see things and it's super, super harsh, even though that's what you're supposed to be focused on. I think that you're seeing things in a brighter color. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that things are illuminating. For instance, if you are reading a paper, right, Gemini, and you're looking at it and you're reading certain things, you're going to notice like certain words are going to start to pop up. Certain words are going to start to be highlighted to you, or certain aspects, you know, when you're doing things. And I feel like there's some type of evolution here. I also feel like with this new moon, there's a level of success coming. There's some type of communication that's going to be coming in. And for a lot of you guys, there's going to be an achievement or some type of new opportunity for you to have a level of growth. What you need to focus on is the Queen of Swords. Now, I am going to say this, right? I always say the Queen of Swords is a bad bitch, right? She's the only one that has a sword, okay, ready to cut you. I'm here for it. However, the one thing that I think the Queen of Swords does beautifully is it's all about balance, right? Because it is Libra energy. So I think right now you have to be careful with being too cold, but also being logical. Because I think right now logic needs to be what you're focused on. I think you need to be very focused on the truth. And I think that you need to be very focused on being fair. Like really looking at things from another person's perspective and saying, hey, is this fair? Is that right? Because if that's not right, then I have to take a step back, right? Or maybe that's even you checking yourself at times. But I do feel like whatever is coming in, I think that you're going to have an opportunity where you can judge the situation and you can go yay or nay. Because I do think that there is some type of communication coming in here, right? With the Eight of Wands. So that's Mercury and Sag. That's quick communication. It's expansive communication. It's some type of message, and it's very quick, right? And I think that the fact that you have, let's see, the world here for your energy, and this is about karmic balances and karmic lessons. And then you also have the Queen of Swords here, which she's the judge. And think about, you know, what the major arcana is for this. There's some type of, I feel like, I don't know, big transformation with energy, but you're going to have the ability to do people how they've done you, or you take a higher road. That's what I think is coming in for Gemini. That may be all over the place, but that's what I'm getting strongly.
I actually think that was exactly matched the astrology. The messages coming in, the expansion. That was awesome, Whitney.
I know, Am. It's screaming colors. I posted the link. It is being able to be viewed for some reason. You know, electronics are wonky. So you can view them on Tracy's channel, which is TRS Tarot Talk 1111. The video is present there. Or if you want to hang out here too, you can. I think that we have a lot of people in both. So whatever works for you guys. Yeah. Okay. Who's
Good
next?
job, girls.
All right. Are we moving on to Cancer, or did you want to throw something at that, Tracy?
You know, honestly, so for me with Geminis are extremely adaptable, I think. You know, they're extremely adaptable. And the thing is I think all zodiacs are going to get some really unexpected occurrences, whether it's communication or just big changes. I think the whole collective actually is. But what I like about Gemini is they're problem solvers. You know, they always kind of, they handle it. They just handle it.
Yep.
And, you know, I mean, they're the twins, right? It's like, if you get the left cheek, go ahead and take the right, you know, I'm going to be okay.
I think that this is Gemini tapping into the mean twin, though.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think it's Gemini, like no bullshit Gemini. Not like, hey, sunshines, rainbow, and glitter shooting out my ass. It's like, no, take a step back, dog. Or I'm going to like doink you right in the eye. Like,
right.
Back up.
Right?
Like that type of energy. Yeah.
Well, and honestly, I think that we'll find, especially with the cards, that that's kind of a shared energy collectively right now.
Yeah.
Totally. It totally is. Yeah, there's definitely a reoccurring theme here, which is like endings and karma, and then people coming forward and talking. So for sure.
Yeah, and unexpectedly, like, I mean, when we get into Cancer here, I'll tell you what I got, which is funny because I was smiling the whole time I was tossing cards.
Yep.
Well, you know, the karmic point that you made is actually that is things that happened last year coming up to be cleared or handled or even recognized like for what it is, and that is a very karmic energy. And again, this moon is going to bring up potentially things that occurred last year to resolve it one way or another or bring it to our consciousness. So that is very karmic.
Yeah.
That is, yeah, that's exactly what that is. So,
And Claudia says this is exactly what she's feeling right now. No messing around. I'm telling you, Gemini has this like non-emotional, like, I don't know why, but I have like zero emotions towards things where I'm just like, let's make a deal. Let me see the contract, you know,
Right.
Similar to the thing I posted. Like, you want to talk to me? Give me a damn 500-word essay on why I should even entertain it.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah. Interesting. Okay, so are we moving on to Cancer? So, Cancer is experiencing this new moon. I think a lot's been going on inside, deep down for Cancer rising. They've been reviewing and having to deal with maybe fears that are coming up to be dealt with. It could be finances and shared resources and things like that if you're in a partnership, but there could be an expansion or trying to come to a better understanding of like what's in your psyche, and actually that could be your spiritual gifts as well. Anything that's been kind of down below could inside of you and even hidden maybe in places that you're afraid to look at or and you don't really like to talk about. This new moon and all of this energy and then things coming up from last year, it's happening in the house that Pluto and Scorpio rule. So it's everything that either we thought was laid to rest, potentially, and it could be traumas, but things coming up to be looked at. And you've been doing that. Something can come back from last year, and whatever has come up for you in the last month to 6 weeks with the Capricorn energy, I would imagine there might be a theme around that for those kinds of issues or things that are coming up for you. So it is really a deep dive and a look at what is hidden inside of you, whether it's something about a relationship and how you operate in those, or your finances even, but something that is very serious to you and not taken lightly. So I hope that Cancers are doing okay with whatever has come out from the shadows that they're dealing with, because likely it's been a pretty heavy for Cancer rising. But with this new moon, they should be getting a burst of inspiration and having that let up a little bit, and be able to, between now and the full moon and beyond that, actually break out of some of those things and feel a little bit of relief. And if nothing else, Aquarius energy does allow us to detach a little bit emotionally while we're coming up with new and different ways of handling the energy that we're dealing with or the areas of life. So that's what I have for Cancer rising.
Okay, so as you know, Julene, I have Cancer all over in my chart. I'm a Sun Cancer. I'm a rising Cancer. I've got Cancer somewhere else too. I don't know. I know that. So I'm resonating big time with the energy that I drew for Cancer. I've got the energy is the Seven of Cups. Let me see if I can find that sweet spot again. It's the Seven of Cups with the Page of Swords and the Page of Wands. And so, coming from Cancer's point of view, I feel like I've got more options in the last month or two.
Yes.
And a lot more of my spiritual gifts. Like, I'm wanting to write a book. I've got so many things that I'm inspired to do. And their page, it is page energy because it's things I've never done before, but things I've always wanted to do, which is the Star card, which I also got for the Y. You know, so I was asking why are we focusing on the pages and these options? Well, because Cancers are notorious for sacrificing. I got the Hanged Man. We're notorious for sacrificing for others and letting our own dreams and hopes and inspirations kind of fall to the wayside for the children, for the spouses, or for the family, and not really pursuing our own dreams, our own. And so, you know, I've got here for what to focus on. So I've got the Queen of Pentacles with the Fool.
Ooh.
For focus. Let me see if I can get the camera.
Oh, somebody knew. I know that's right, Rosa.
So I've got the Queen of Pentacles with the Fool. And so I think that, you know, Cancer should be focusing on their stability, their foundation, their money, their creativity, their you know, Queen of Pentacles, she takes home the bacon, fries it up in the pan, and then she plants a garden and tends that too, you know. And it's funny because I'm not getting a lot of cups here for Cancer. I mean, the only cups we've got is the Seven of Cups. She's kind of stepping up, or he is kind of stepping up in this earth energy of, you know, my dreams matter. And it's time I start pursuing them and making them, grounding them into the physical reality. And, you know, so what to expect? This one kind of got me. Maybe you can elaborate a little when we're done here, but what to expect? I got the Ten of Wands in reverse with the Tower and the Twin Flame card.
Oh, God, no. No. Oh.
Again.
No.
Ten of Wands in reverse. We're letting that shit go, man.
Oh. Either that's Cancer holding on to it because they're like, I don't want to let go. And then the Tower going, yeah.
Yep, let it go. Well, and also, you know, the King of Swords had to come out with the Hierophant and the Seven of Swords and the Three of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So I really think that Cancer is, you know, a lot of people think that Cancers cry all the time, but I'm telling you, I'm a double Cancer, and I don't like to cry. I push it down. And for me as a Cancer, this Ten of Wands with the Twin Flame thing, for those who resonate with that, you don't have to, but I mean, it came out and you put that card in the deck, and I'm telling you, it's been coming out a lot. And so for me, as a divine feminine, in my twin flame journey, I was so burdened with you know, am I showing up right? Am I doing the internal work? Am I, you know, with the Hierophant, with even the King of Swords, that's that smart, you know, overthinking and being logical. And yeah, I just kind of feel like I'm done with that. You know, it's like I'm ready to drop those wands, and just, my new mantra is let what wants to come in, and let what wants to leave. And I'm going to be okay with that because I'm the Queen of fucking Pentacles. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I know that Neon Awakening Twin Flame card is kind of a bonus card, and it may not resonate with everybody, but I know on my channel, 90% of my viewers are Twin Flames. I mean, that's how they found me.
I love
And I think that Cancers are following their dreams, and I think they're ready for new beginnings. I think they're curious. I think I'm curious. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm ready. Show me. Just show me, you know, I'm ready. And so, you know, with that Hierophant too, I don't know, you know, about other Cancers watching, but for me personally, I've had a lot of new spiritual gifts that have been highlighting themselves that I didn't even know I had, to be honest. And so that tower for me can be so many things. It can be twin flame related. It can also be that dam I was talking about bursting, where, you know, we're tired of pushing it down and letting it weigh us down. Cancers tend to want to mother everybody.
Yep.
And in all relationships, it doesn't matter if it's your boss or your neighbor or your children or your family or your twin. And I think cancers are tired of it. I think they're saying, you know what? You don't need a mother. You need to pull up your big boy pants or big girl pants and get on with it. And just, you know, seriously,
Amen.
yeah, it's like,
You know?
I know. And with that Hanged Man, I know that I'm tired of sacrificing my own dreams and happiness and waiting on the sidelines, 3 of Wands, 7 of Swords, right? I'm, you know, those ships may or may not come in, but I got other things to do than sit on the shoreline waiting for them.
Well, I also think with Cancer, though, sorry to chime in, but
No, go ahead. I'm done. I mean, I basically.
The thing that's dope about that twin flame card is it's Neon Awakening. So I feel like that's awakening in many different ways. That's being on your true life purpose. It's finally being in the right direction. It's going in the right path. You know what I mean? Like there's a level of soulfulness, I feel like, to that card. And I feel like Cancer, you're about to hit that sweet spot. But I do think that 10 of Wands that's dragged you down, all the shit that you've done over and over and over again, where you keep thinking that because you're doing the right thing and you see the good in that person,
right?
If they've not reciprocated that, that's why that tower is hitting. It's like cutting the dead weight. It's cutting the fat. If they're not going to put forth the effort, goodbye. See you later. And I think that with that tower, it's such a beautiful moment because one, it solidifies this new person, right? This new growth. It also takes away what's toxic and doesn't serve you. But then also too, now you're rebuilding the foundation of where you're supposed to go in life, right? Which I think is so fantastic. And I think it's absolutely beautiful. So sorry.
I think that's awesome. Yay.
Dude, it's dope. I mean, I think Cancer's got kicked in the dick a few times, right? Like over and over and over again. So it's refreshing to have like this moment where it's finally, I feel like Cancer's pushing the tower. Like Cancer's like, fuck it, enough. Somebody come in and, you know, phone a friend. Hi, can you come in and intercept here? Cancer's the one that's kicking the fucking tower over. It's not the tower hitting Cancer. It's hitting everybody else that Cancer's leaving behind. So
I agree with that. And I also agree with, in my own personal experience, I've had, so, you know, I'm a Cancer sun of Virgo moon and a Cancer rising and a Virgo Venus. So can you spell service? I mean, I grew up literally as the fixer, you know, for everybody, nurturing and mothering everybody, and so codependent and so bogged down by trying to fix everybody and allowing my own health and my own happiness and my own dreams just kind of slip out the door while I'm, you know, babysitting everybody else. And so the tower for me is, I'm looking out for me. I'm ready. And I've noticed a lot of the friendships, well, frenemies, right? That I've put out of my life, that I've put those walls up. They didn't expect it. They're like, oh, you're Cancer. Cancer don't do that. Cancer don't walk away. Bullshit. Cancer goes in their shell and says, I'm done. And I don't need you. And so for me personally, I've created quite a few towers in people's lives where they were dependent upon me as a friend or you know, family or girlfriend. And they're finding out that, you know, all that lovey-dovey mother nurturing, and I'm going to make everything cushy for you, and I'm going to build you up, buttercup. Cancers are tired. They're tired. The 10 of Wands. It's like, I can't carry my shit and carry yours too any longer. So I'm just dropping it. And that is tower. And I think they're going to miss us. I really do.
I would say when you lose a Cancer, you done fucked up.
Right. It takes a lot to lose a Cancer, but when you do, it's usually permanently.
Yeah.
Yeah. No looking back.
AJ Lover, how's it going?
That was awesome, you guys. Okay, so let's move on to Leo. So, Leo, this is all about your relationships and partnerships. Legal agreements, even in contracts. So that's a pretty that you're dealing with things that you're actually bound to, that you actually have to deal with. That could be in terms of, legal issues or just romantic and relationship issues, that may be coming back from last year. Things that changed suddenly, or something came out that now you have to deal with. Hopefully it's not something difficult. Listen, Uranus can bring nice surprises too, and things that are you're gonna be able to create stability with, and move forward through this in a much better way. Again, with Saturn there, and it's funny because I've been mentioning this Saturn, how it kind of like balances out the Aquarian energy that makes us want to sort of break out and get moving, to kind of hold us back a little bit. And I think, when I think about a Leo, if they're struggling in relationships, or having legal issues, or even a partnership, like a business partnership, whatever that might be, I think it's probably been really hard with this Capricorn energy. And Leos that are in the chat, you can throw it out there that they may be getting, if they're getting hit with legal issues or relationships issues, all of this Capricorn energy that's been holding them back from taking action, and whether that's Venusian issues like money, and or love, or just being able to communicate, like something's dampering that and rolling it back and causing a delay. And sometimes, like when it comes to the fire signs, especially Leo, and I love Leos, but they probably needed to have the reins pulled in so that they could actually have time, potentially, or maybe the other party has time to sort of really look and see if they're thinking and perceiving things correctly, and if they really want to take action so that it doesn't create something impulsive. And I think Saturn does that. I think it benefits, especially the fire signs. And the water signs too, because it gives them time to process their emotion, however it is that you're handling it. But this is a critical area of life for Leo. And I have a Leo moon, so when I get on a roll, emotionally, it's like I can screw things up and say the wrong things and jump the gun, because in the moment, I really feel like I'm not being listened to. Leo needs to be heard. And, Leo's proud and intelligent and very intuitive. So intuitive doesn't mean they're wrong, especially for them. Nobody's wrong if it's for you. But if we're talking about Aquarian energy, where we want to take a broader look at things and bring things together and do something new and different, it's probably a good idea to take a more cautious, practical look at things, so that we don't end up in a more difficult place, that we end up in a better place. So I don't know if any of you Leos have been dealing with anything like that in your partnerships or relationships, but that's the area of life that you could have things come back, or already did, and where you want to set some intentions and think about how you want to move forward, and keep an eye out for something sudden or different to happen. So that's Leo.
So it's interesting because I feel like there's a lot of hidden energy. It's interesting when it comes to Leo, because the overall energy is the moon. So, I mean, I guess you could take this as being intuitive, right? But for me, I feel like it's confusion. And I feel like it's almost like right now, I feel like you're submerged in, I guess it is emotions, right? But I feel like it's emotions that nobody sees. And I think that it's something that's ingrained in you very, very deeply right now, that you've tried to hide for a period of time, but I feel like they're going to be exposed soon. I also think that this new moon, what it's doing is it's showing you your fears. Like, I think that there is a fear of emotions. I think that there is a fear of being connected and having this innate pull towards something or someone. I also get too, I don't know why, but my very first thought with the card is like confusion. And I think that you're in a place where you're asking yourself, is it worth it? And it's interesting because you asking yourself, is it worth it? The one thing that you're supposed to focus on is the Empress and the Ace of Cups. So if you're supposed to focus on the Empress and the Ace of Cups, the one thing I can tell you right now is you need to tap into that feminine energy, right? Leos are beautiful, Leos are stunning, but the one thing that Leo does beautifully is masculine energy. I know a lot of female Leos and they come off very masculine. It's a very masculine energy, right? So it's really about taking a step back, tapping into that femininity. Take a bath, meditate, set your intentions, get your nails done, paint your nails, do your hair, do things that are feminizing yourself. Because I think right now, this overly masculine energy, it has to go. And I think that once you do that, once you set your intentions, right? Because this is what you need to focus on. Take your ass a bath, set your intentions, right? When you do that, I think that you're going to be able to ground your emotions and then ground what's going on around you, because right now you're submerged too deep. And I also think that there is some type of new start coming. And for some of you guys, it needs to be focused on your family, focused on a baby, focused on some type of new start here, some type of new creative project. And I do want to tell you, though, what to expect is the Queen of Pentacles with the Five of Swords. So be careful. Like I said, there's illusions. Things are not as it seems. And I feel like that's something to expect. I think that be careful with how you obtain certain things. Be careful how you obtain your finances or your money or following the law. Be very, very careful with that, because there's an energy around this moon for you where there's somebody that I feel like is close to you that's not as close to you as you think. And there is some type of deception inside of your camp, of your people, your friends at work. There's some type of very deceptive energy. So just be careful. So I know that's kind of like depressing, and I'm not trying to make it depressing, but the dope thing is if you focus, I feel like, on the Empress and the Ace of Cups, like I feel like there's something new coming in and it's beautiful, right? But I think it's because you have to get out of this. You have to stop hiding. You have to stop suppressing, and you have to do something about it. So yeah.
So what I was picking up on that, now I didn't toss cards on them, but I was hearing self-love, my cup runneth over. And with the Empress doesn't chase she's not masculine. She doesn't chase after anything. She sits back and she allows what is hers to come to her. And so it's that being open to receive versus out there chasing and trying to force things to happen that really, I'm hearing micromanaging the universe. You know, it's like you can't always take that Leo energy and force things to happen that aren't really intended to happen that way. Sometimes you have to sit back and be open to receive. I mean, the Empress is the queen of all queens. Yeah. And through her, she's like Mother Gaia. I mean, through her womb, all manifestations are born. And so if you're trying to manifest something, instead of using the masculine energy of chasing after it and making it happen, sometimes we get a lot further if we just do our hair, do our nails, and sit back and trust that what is meant for us isn't going to miss us.
Yep.
It's going to show up, and we don't have to force it or micromanage it. We can just kind of allow that birthing process to happen. And as far as somebody in the camp, I feel for some of the Leos, their own worst enemy sometimes can be the inner dialogue. It's what they're saying in their own head. It's, you know, for me, sometimes that Five of Swords is internal dialogue, internal communication.
Sabotage, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And why? Because I want what I want and I want it now. I mean, that's
Exactly. And that's what the astrology says, the same thing.
yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. You're being held back to make sure that whatever moves are made or whatever decisions are made are in your best interest, not jump the gun. Yeah. And Leo is going to have the full moon on the 16th hit their first house. So, however they set the intentions and deal with what is going on right now or has been going on these last months, it's going to directly affect them, right? That full moon culmination is going to hit their first house, which is them, but they're in their physical reality. So, yeah, I think that's great advice for Leo. It's like, you know, sit back, keep an eye out, and make the moves that are going to be
I,
best for
I'm hearing
you.
I'm hearing that song. Do my hair, child, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
Yes, good as
You
hell.
know,
Good
Ace
as
of
hell.
Cups isn't
Yes.
always new love. Sometimes, for me personally, Ace of Cups can be self-love.
Totally.
You can't get to the Two of Cups unless your cup is full. You just can't. I mean, you can try, but you're going to end up, it's always going to be codependent. If your cup's not full, you're waiting for somebody else to fill it for you. You're looking for somebody else to bring to you what you feel like you're lacking. And that Empress energy is just the opposite of that. We don't need our cup filled. We fill our cup.
I know that's right.
Awesome.
So just
Cool.
quick, who's Amy Adams? I'm not a TV buff. Who's Amy Adams?
What movie was she was in so many movies, but let me think of one. Amy Adams. Gosh, ton of movies. You would know her if you saw her. She's
Somebody in the Santa is saying that I look like Amy Adams, but I don't know. I'm not familiar
Oh my
myself.
gosh, that's awesome. The Arrival, that's one of the movies. She was in like some rom-coms too. That she's really funny, but she's got a good range in acting talent. I like Amy Adams. Okay.
I'll have to pull her when I'm
Yeah,
done.
check her out. Okay, so we are moving on to Virgo.
Yeah.
Virgo, yeah, Virgo,
So
what?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say real quickly, I don't know how Whitney tosses cards, but I let Spirit kind of pull them out, and
Uh-huh.
Virgo's got a shitload.
Well, Virgo is dealing with, what's going on in their day-to-day life and their routine. So it could be affecting their work and their routines, but also could be it's the health, and it could be the health of people around them that they're taking care of, or their own health, and how they move around in their community, but mostly, health and day-to-day routine. So that is kind of a lot of a big area of life. But when I think of Virgo, they are a mutable earth sign and ruled by Mercury. So there's a lot going on there in the mind. And I know that Virgos, and I have a lot of Virgo placements, so I'm going to cop to it. But, Virgos have a tendency to want everything to be perfect and to organize and plan to the point where it can actually cause internal stress and illness. And they sort of like, they want to be the leader in things, and they have a really hard time asking for help. Like they want to put things together, but they won't ask for help a lot of times. And because they're trying to manage all of that, and in this area of life, when you think about setting intentions for how you're going to resolve or move forward in that area of life based on things that might have been happening, hopefully Virgos haven't been dealing with a lot of health issues, in their family or for themselves, or even in their day-to-day work. You can look at but Virgos have, it's like, don't try and control it all, because Virgos have a tendency to do that because they want to be first, and they're usually right. But when you need help organizing things or putting things together or caring for yourself or having people come in, it's okay to like not worry about whether or not it's perfect, but allow some of those things to change and be given to you. So like it's like go ahead and receive, right, as well as give, and not be so critical about that toward yourself or other people. Uh, so, look for, there could be, if you've been dealing with issues in that area of life, it could affect your work or your health. Um, Hopefully you've come across and you've been able to plan, whether that, if it's your health, you've been seeing doctors and figuring that out, or looking for alternative therapies and medicines and different types of things to do, or how to move your body better or organize your day-to-day work. And that could, maybe you've left a job, maybe you've decided that your day-to-day routine and what you're required to do in your job isn't working for you anymore, or I don't want to take care of that person anymore. I'm going to put myself first now. So whatever's coming up for you in that area of life, the energy is there for you to actually put a plan together that suits you, that serves you, allows you to receive, but while still being able to give of yourself. But you got to put yourself first before any of that, before you can actually give to others. So that's the area of life for Virgo. And, now's the planning time. Plan and move forward, and see if you can bring any of those things to fruition around the time of the full moon. So that's Virgo.
So I have to tell you, I have a lot of Virgo too. We already talked about that. The cards I got aren't really as resonant with me as the Cancer ones were, but maybe it's because of the Tower and the moon. Maybe I just don't see it coming. But I asked, what is the energy around this new moon? And I got the 5 of Pentacles, the 5 of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. Can you spell change? With the Tower. So I don't really know. I tried to clarify, and I got I do know, because there's several places highlighted, because I got the Ace of Pentacles with the 4 of Pentacles in reverse with the Star card. So again, with that overachiever that, I need to kind of organize and micromanage everything. I think some of the places where you might experience unexpected change could be in the workplace, could be in your finances with the Star and the Ace of Pentacles. And then with that 4 of Pentacles in reverse, that kind of gives me this feeling, because we also got the 6 of Swords here with the Strength card. It's like it's time to leave the past behind. Whatever is, that like you said, Whitney, whatever that, let me find that sweet spot again.
I know, right? It's hard to
whatever that tape recorder, that thing that just keeps going around and around. And the 4 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles is also stubborn. And it's like, where can you be a little more flexible around your finances and your business, or whatever it is that you do to make that Ace of Pentacles? It seems to me with the Star card, you're going to succeed, but it feels to me like you need to be open to receive that Ace of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles is kind of closed off energy.
Oops.
I just kind of feel like, sometimes you've got to put more out than you hold in. It's that law of attraction where, I remember in church, they used to say, love is like a magic penny. Hold it tight, you won't have any. Lend it, spend it, you'll have so many, it rolls across the floor. So I'm kind of getting this feeling like there's something big with the Wheel of Fortune that wants to change, wants to bring in this abundance and this star quality for Virgos, but there might be some place in their energy where they're not really open to receive it. And so we've got the Strength card with the 6 of Swords. and the moon. I mean, the moon is here, and well, and we've got, so let's just deal with that before I get into the romance part, because I always draw a couple of cards for romance because I know I personally like to know about that. But so I think what you can expect to see in this energy is that you're not expecting anything that you're going to see. It's kind of like you're in this energy of lack, of feeling like I work so hard, I do so much, and you know, it's just not coming in. I'm not getting that pentacle, I'm not getting that star, you know, energy. But then I've got the Three of Wands, and I've got the Strength, the Six. I mean, things are changing for the better. You got the Six of Swords, Strength, and the Three of Wands. So it's there. It's just, I just wonder if you're manifesting, because remember, when you manifest, you've got to be in a vibrational alignment with what you're asking for. And I kind of feel like with this spread, maybe they're struggling to really have faith with the star and believe that things are coming for them, that they deserve it, and it is coming in, and to really open up to receive it. And you know, it's not I'll believe it when I see it, it's I'll see it when I believe it. And I think faith could be something that they're struggling with, whatever the Ace of Pentacles, because it doesn't have to be money. It could be any number of things, because it's physical, it's 3D, it's something you can, it's tangible, you can hold it in your hand. It could be a car, it could be a house, it could be anything, but it's tangible, it's materialistic. And it just really feels like something big's about to change. I mean, we got 2 5s with the Wheel of Fortune, but what I'm seeing is resistance. And so, you know, if they're watching, then, you know, maybe we could ask ourselves and really kind of reflect on, do I have faith? Do I even believe that I can have it? Do I believe I can have it? And if I don't, why? Because there's shadow work that needs to be done around that. And the moon for me, sometimes intuitively when I read it, is shadow work. It's what is beneath the surface, what isn't quite seen or known. And I just kind of feel like there's something really, really big just waiting right there. Like if they would just kind of quit trying to micromanage, and just, you know, that word's coming up a lot with me, is that need to control, and not just to control, but to close down. Like, I feel like an energy block. I got to be honest. I feel an energy block, and I think it's around faith with the star. I think they're struggling with believing that they can actually see change. And with the Tower, now the Tower is showing up in romance, so I just got to put something really good out there, because we just talked about kind of the shadow stuff that you need to work on, is to know your value, to know your worth, and to be open and not in that lack mentality. But in romance, I've got the Tower with the Sun and the Page of Cups and the Lovers, 10 of Cups.
Wow.
That's a lot of energy. And so it's the 10 of Cups on the bottom of the deck, also with the 10 of Pentacles hiding underneath it. And when I asked about romance, I got the Sun, I got the Tower, I got the Page of Cups, and I got the Lovers. So if you feel like, now it doesn't have to be, you know, relationship, but it certainly looks like relationship. If there's something that you've been wanting, or somebody that you've been waiting for, with that Three of Wands can be waiting too, you might just get it, but then you may be a little bit Four of Pentacles. Are you ready to receive it? So that's what I'm seeing. Whit, are you seeing
Awesome.
anything?
Yeah, I just think with Virgo, and somebody put it in the chat, but it's exactly what I was thinking, that if you want something, open your mouth. Because like,
Right.
a closed mouth doesn't get fed. And I think has that security issue about not being insecure. Sometimes when I see the star card, I feel like sometimes that's to me about how someone views themselves, right? Like you're looking in the stars. And I think that sometimes you realize you're special. You're not just like everybody else. So I think that that's a level of self-expression that also transforms things.
Right. Well,
Awesome.
and I see change. I mean, you can't spell change more than 2 5s in the Wheel of Fortune in the
No
same
kidding.
row.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That is totally huge.
All
But
right,
the good
so
news is
we
the
should
sun's
move-
here. So hey.
There you go. That's a happy ending. So we're going to move on to the next sign. And I was just looking at just a couple things I want to throw out there just so that we don't get. Number one, I noticed Tracy is there. Some of your stream is like kind of pulling back. I hope your internet's not going sideways because it's getting late. Because if the stream goes, we won't be able to restart it. But anyway, I just wanted to sort of say, throw that out there. I don't know if it's
I don't know.
edgy.
It looks good on my end. How about you
well,
guys?
it was when you were talking. I can see it on this side. I can see it on this side in the broadcast. But anyway, I'm gonna move through a little quicker because we're like over 2 hours here because we had technical problems. So we have Libra. So Libra Rising is having this new moon in an area that
Libra.
Yeah, Libra rising. Yeah, that is going to affect their romantic life and their creativity and how they put themselves out in the world, how they mingle socially. That will also include their children, the kinds of things they're doing with their kids on a day-to-day basis. But it's all about how they're giving love and giving of themselves creatively. So that's a good area. You could have had romantic interest coming back from last year. Things could be twisting and turning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. You might be experiencing, your kids might be going through some of those things. Also, watch out. That is the area of life where, if somebody comes back and you're not too sure. So hopefully you use that Cap energy and really planned, because that's the area of life where you can, babies can pop up out of nowhere. So, overall, I think, just be careful. Again, Saturn brings it in. Think about it, set your intentions for what you want for whatever's going on in that area of life, and make sure that it's what you want for the long haul, that you can actually support that, and keep an eye on your kids if you've got teenagers, or things like that. So, and creativity, like, if you've got a creative project, go for it. If you've been working on it and it's come back and it's ready to launch, now's a good time to launch what you've planned. So that's it. That is Libra rising.
So it's funny. So you're talking about this, right? And I pulled the cards before you started talking. And literally I have the 2 of Cups.
Oh.
Okay, for your overall energy. I have the 7 of Pentacles as what you need to focus on. And then I have the 10 of Pentacles for what to expect. So, yeah, this is dope-ass energy. First of all, I think that right now, this new moon, it's bringing in a new sense of love, a new sense of partnership, whether that's a friendship, whether that's a new meeting. However it is, I feel emotionally you are in control, and emotionally you feel good. There possibly is some type of reconciliation coming from somebody from the past. I feel like you're going to be in some type of very soulmate type of connection. And I think that love is going to be very heavy on your mind, just like Julene had mentioned. So I do think it's very important that Libra, and I'm saying this across the board because I'm a Libra rising, but I think it's important to ground our energy, right? I think the things that Libras do amazing is Libras get so pumped, right? When something is going well, they're like, yes, here I am, right? So I think it's not to get ahead of yourself, but keep putting in the work, keep doing things in a certain manner. And I feel like some type of long-term investment or something that you've gone through that's been frustrating for a period of time, it's like you're being given a gift. It's almost like Saturn's gift. Like, that's how I view it. It's beautiful. And what to expect? 10 of Pentacles. I mean, hello. Like, I don't know. I feel like things are finally stabilizing. Things are kind of coming to a head here. I think that you're in harmony and union with your relationships. And because your relationships are in harmony, all of a sudden you can focus on your finances. When you're focusing on your finances, it's like everything is just coming together, I feel like, beautifully. And be ready, because there is going to be some type of establishment or some type of money coming in or some type of established relationship that is going to be solidified, I feel like, for some of you guys during this type of energy. So beautiful. Absolutely
Awesome.
beautiful.
Yay.
And I feel like, just so you know, the undertone of the energy, it's the King of Pentacles, right? So that's stability, that's possessiveness. It's also being very methodical, but it's like, this is for the long haul. I get an energy of this where this is something that is going to last for a period of time.
Awesome. That's good for Libra rising. Go Libra rising. I love Libras. So yeah. Libra rising.
Your
I
sun
do.
is Libra.
I know. I do. But they're very, everything's, yeah. I mean, they give a lot of themselves. So yeah, I like to see things come back to them, especially if they've evolved out of that sort of, overgiving or like martyring because they overgave and they don't want to say anything. And like the Libra, the close Libras I know have done that, but I'd like to see them I'd like to see the universe give them a solid, that's for sure. So
I think it's a solid, though.
Good.
Yeah, I think it is good.
Are we moving on to, to Scorpio?
I'm good. The only thing I got with Libra was the 9 of Cups, so I'm going to leave it there. We'll just drop that.
Nice. 9 of Cups. Yay.
I'm telling you, Libra, there's something bomb coming. Like, I'm so pumped. Well, I think Libra, right? Moon rising or sun sign, Venus, whatever. That's who I pull for. I don't know. The energy is fantastic, so I'm definitely going to claim this since I'm a Libra rising. So
Yay.
I'm ready for my 10 of Pentacles.
The 9 of Cups? It doesn't get any better than that. Okay.
It's fulfillment.
That's reach for the stars there, or maybe it's just coming to you. That's awesome. Okay, Scorpio. Scorpio's dealing with home and family, real estate, possibly. They might be having childhood issues come to the surface. We know that Scorpio is a very intense sign. And so if they've been dealing with familial or foundational issues, last year things went sideways. Maybe there, if we're talking real estate, maybe there are things that need to be settled there. Legal issues could be just, their family in terms of their children, moms and dads. The nodes have just moved into Scorpio and Taurus, and that's a karmic placement. And right now, the node is at 27 degrees, and Pluto is currently, this is a little off from the new moon because, we're setting intentions, but for Scorpio, Pluto is almost at 27 degrees. So, this is a big, huge change in the home and foundation, or in and around childhood trauma potentially for Scorpio. So whatever's coming up for review and they've been dealing with, if anything's come up from the past, chances are with that south node there, it's coming up so that you can see it and it can actually be resolved. This is a very karmic new moon, in my opinion, and full moon and month for Scorpio. It's time to do what you do, Scorpio, which is transform and move away and move out of things that you're not supposed to be involved with anymore. Bring something new in, and if you are bringing something from the past, require that it has been transformed, that it's in a new form. And it's showing up differently and in a much more committed and responsible way. So that's Scorpio.
So for me, I had the card and then I picked I don't know what I was thinking. I picked it up and put it back in the deck. Now I can't find it. But it was the Six of Cups. So what I've got for their energy is the Eight of Swords, the Six of Cups, and the Hierophant. And so I kind of feel like there's been an energy of being held back, you know, whether it's because of their own thinking or because of lessons, like you said, that need to be looked at, right? Because I look at swords a lot of times like lessons, you know, it's like this one got me here and this one got me there and this one got me here. And with the Hierophant, you know, that's the spiritual guidance. It's also, I'm hearing, because I'm clairaudient, and what I'm hearing is that the traditional way of doing things isn't working for Scorpio anymore. It's just been holding them back. And so, like you said, looking at traditions, you know, at how they believe things should go, might just be like limiting their potential. And because when I asked what do they need to focus on, I got the Queen of Wands with the Ace of Swords. So I feel like they need to be more confident and clear about what it is that they're trying to accomplish. You know, I mean, Eight of Swords is that stinking thinking, stuck in the mud energy of not feeling like you can move forward on something. And, you know, where should you place your focus? I've got the Ace of Swords, Queen of Wands. I just think that you need to gain some clarity, or maybe even speak your truth. You know, there might be some area of their life right now where they need to step up confidently and just kind of have a big talk with somebody or get something off their chest. Now, the Ace of Swords sometimes is clarity, but I kind of feel with the Queen of Wands, it's like you said before, Whitney, a closed mouth don't get fed. I mean, you got to speak up.
Got it.
With confidence too. And so what to expect is the Page of Wands. So now the way I'm feeling intuitively with the Page of Wands, especially when you have the Queen of Wands there, it's like you got to start somewhere. You got to take that first step. You've got to and you got to be careful too, because you know you don't want to be too impulsive. But it does feel like there seems to be an action required from Scorpio at this time, because with the Eight of Swords, that's non-action, and with the Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands, that's taking some kind of action, and Ace of Swords can be cutting some things out of your life too that need to go. And with the Hierophant, it could be relationships even. Now, what I got for relationships is I got the Lovers, but it's in reverse with the King of Pentacles in reverse. And the Two of Swords. So I feel like in romance, for some of them, there's a decision that needs to be made that hasn't been. Right? Two of Swords is I need to make a choice, or somebody they're waiting on needs to make a choice, and the Lovers in reverse is they're not doing it. And that could be that Eight of Swords energy. King of Pentacles in reverse is somebody who's non-committal. And so that Ace of Swords might just, you know, depending on what situation that they're in, there might need to be some cord cutting with somebody who just isn't showing up.
Yeah.
Think, Whit?
Yeah, I think that with Scorpio, I think that they're learning a tough lesson on relationships right now. On you know, just because they want it or just because they want control, that doesn't mean it's right for them. And it's really releasing what no longer serves them, I feel like, because it's just weighing them down. You know what I mean? And I think that they've gone back and forth for a period of time, fighting very similar battles. And I feel like Scorpio's at a place where it's like shit or get off the pot and nothing happened, so I'm going to go ahead and exit stage left.
Yeah.
So I feel
Queen
like
of Wands,
Scorpio's
that's,
right.
yeah.
I agree.
I think they're just kind of coming into like letting something go. I think that that level of I need to have it, I think that they've finally seen like there's not much behind it. So why are you fighting for something that, you know what I'm saying, when there's so much more ahead? So that's what I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So we have Sag rising.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Sag, you know, they have been on a little bit of a whiplash kind of roller coaster ride, I think, the last few months. And, you know, now they've landed in a place where it's really important for them to, and they probably are thinking about what they've learned and how they want to communicate and put themselves out there. They might be, you know, it's a good, you're looking at, again, you know, for the fire signs, like important things like legal contracts and, you know, anything that is coming to them in writing that has to be reviewed and understood. So with the fire sign again, and you know, Mars just came out of Sag, so they were kind of like, you know, given a pass. You know, they wanted to break free and they moved around. They may not have been paying attention to some of these things, but I think during Capricorn season, there was a rollback. So they may be dealing with some old things that are coming up that need to be talked about, need to be thought through. So Saturn is putting a little bit of, you know, somber energy there, a little bit of like seriousness and practicality, which is probably good for a mutable fire sign. But you know, Sag, once they know what they're doing, they can actually make things happen because they move and shake. But right now is a time to be a little bit contemplative. I'm sure they have been, but they may be a little frustrated because they do like to, you know, get things off the table and talk about things as soon as it comes to the surface, and they may not have been able to. It's probably a good thing. Just look at that as a gift, and whatever comes to the surface or comes back for you to deal with, your perception is what you should review when you decide and set your intentions for how you want those things to look. What is your perception of that? How have you communicated that? Did you learn enough about what it is that you're going to be making decisions about? That's the era of life. It's all about learning and perceiving and communicating for you as you come out of this, the Capricorn time frame, and you're now setting intentions around whatever it is that you've decided you want to move towards. So that is Sag.
I like it. Well, energy for Sag is the Knight of Swords. So kind of interesting, but I feel like it's an opposite energy of what you're used to, right? Gemini is the sister sign of Sag. So it's really the opposite of you, right? I think that you're looking at things not from a broader perspective right now, but in a very like focused, small, right? So if you're in a forest, right? You're focused on a tree, you're focused on the bark on the tree, the sap on the bark, right? There's something here that I feel like you're very focused on, or there is going to be a lot of attention that's being paid towards something in particular. This is Sagittarius. Hopefully that helps. Aldana. I just feel that it's also interesting though, because there is a sense of confidence right now with you, Sag. Like, be careful, okay? Because I feel like with your words, I think that how you think that they're going to come out, it's going to be something totally different. So be very mindful of how you're communicating. Also, there will be rapid action and some type of rapid communication coming in. Just be careful. That's all I'm going to say. Be careful with communicating with the wrong person.
Yeah, we're getting a bunch of feedback. That's what I was worried about.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either, but we probably
I can't hear it over here. Everything's good on my side.
I can hear it. It's loud.
Yeah, I muted me, and I don't think it's mine. Okay, I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah.
So, you know, a heavy focus right now is on it's on the King of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. I feel like there's something that you're supposed to be doing, but I also think that there's something that, one, you need to take a level of action on. There's some type of creative spark right now. You have a lot of luck that's flowing around you, and I feel like it's pertaining to, there's somebody right next to me, that's pertaining to providing some type of stable type of energy, some type of, also too, it's like, I think for some Sages, they've strayed too far from tradition, and it's like, come on back now. You know what I mean? Come on back. Let's really break things down, break shit down. Where, do you need this? No? Okay, next, right? I think it's like taking it back to the very beginning. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's taking it back to the necessities, but also like a level of being comfortable. I just feel, Sag, that sometimes you think something is going to be something that it's not, and then once it happens, it's like there's a lot of letdown, right? Because I feel like Sag is so positive. It's like they always are optimistic. They always look for like the best possible thing to happen, and I think sometimes there is some type of reality that hits where, you know, you find yourself bored because it's too stable, right? And I think too that what you can expect, it's the Four of Cups, it's Moon in Cancer. You're going to be emotional. So the fact that, you know, you have this Gemini energy with the Cancer moon, it's not a good situation. I know, because I am a Gemini with the Cancer moon, and it's not a good situation a lot of times. So just be careful with your thought process. Be careful of your emotions. And before you say anything, give it a day. 9 out of 10 times, if you sleep on it, you're not going to want to say the same thing that you said the night prior. So, expect a level of boredom. Expect to not get what you want right now. But you feel that emotionally. I feel like you're emotionally not receiving the stability that you need. What about anybody else? Tracy?
Well, the only thing I got from it was the High Priestess in reverse and the Hierophant in the upright. I think they're for some of them, they could be looking at things by the book when they should be looking at it from an intuitive stance. They should kind of, instead of following protocol, kind of allowing themselves to feel what they should do. For me, with the High Priestess in reverse, you know, it's kind of like your inner voice talking to you and you kind of avoiding it because that's not the way it should be. That's not the way it's normally done. And so I don't know how you would take that, but for me, it's like, listen. And, you know, sometimes the quietest voice is the one that you should be listening to, not the loudest. And with the Hierophant in the upright, that's, you know, could be mom and dad's voice. That could be, you know, ancestral patterning. It could be, well, that's the way it's always been done. And we are moving into Aquarius. So maybe the way things used to be done isn't the way we want to do it anymore.
I think it's putting a spin on tradition. That's what I think it is. I think it's taking tradition and putting your spin on it, right? You have that family recipe, you have everything that you need, but now it's like adding different seasoning, or it's changing up how you cook the tomatoes, or if it's adding something different to it, right? I think it's spicing it up with their own type of energy, but at the same point, I think keeping those traditions or keeping some type of like solid foundation. It's weird. It's very not saggy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, I agree. I kind of feel like they feel like they're like a fish out of water. They're a little bit out of their element right now with this new moon.
They should. It looks like a fish out of water for sure.
Yeah. That matched the astrology perfect. Like the breakdown of concepts and taking a look at things and the communication. That's perfect. Okay, so on to Capricorn.
Hey, Lena.
So the new moon in Aquarius conjunct Saturn, right, is affecting Capricorn in the area of their self-esteem and what they value, potentially their resources, their earned income. you know, how they pay their bills and how they provide food and just the basic resources and necessities to sustain their life. So it's a heavy financial emphasis potentially that Capricorn may have coming back to deal with, and they may be dealing with this for the last few months, coming back from last year. Or it's really also because value is your own self-value and self-worth. So if it's something that they're dealing with, they've been reviewing, or something's come back in terms of a relationship, it's really testing and having them take a look and build up internally their own value and self-worth, how they feel about themselves. So with the Aquarius, the new moon in Aquarius, that they may feel a little bit rebellious, or they may have come up with something that ideas, or to actually create a more solid foundation for themselves, or been working on how they have a plan. You know, that could include like therapy if it's self-worth. It could just include sitting down and having a conversation. I think they may be feeling like they really want to make changes, and they may have felt a little bit held back during the last 6 weeks. That it's coming for them to be able to put that out there. But you know, when you're dealing with those kind of issues, finance issues potentially, or just things that really are going to affect your overall stability, you know, and what you have, what is yours, including yourself and your sanity, and you know, everything that keeps you on sturdy ground every day. You know, setting those intentions and being very careful about what you'll accept for yourself and how you want to move into the future in a new and different way is really important. So that's the area of life under review and to set intentions for Capricorn.
So it's funny because as you were like talking about it, it's pretty much exactly what I've got on the table. So I've got the Queen of Pentacles with the Four of Cups and the Temperance card. It just feels to me like their foundation, their stability, their money, their, you know, their finances. I mean, and I even feel like they're not happy, some of them, in relationship, because that's over there. But I mean, the Queen of Pentacles with the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups for me is my no thank you card. It's I'm bored. I don't like it. I don't want it. I need something different. And with the Temperance card, it's balance. So if it's finances, they're trying to balance that out. If it's romance, they're trying to balance that out. You know, it's like there's areas in their life right now that just need healing and balancing, and they're feeling it. They're feeling discontented with what they've got. And then so I'm looking at what should they focus on. I got the Two of Wands with the Queen of Wands and the Six of Swords. And so, you know, what should they focus on is they should look to the future and start creating. Because for me, Wands is creative energy. It's like, you know, you can go left, you can go right, but ultimately which way you go, you have to create. You have to decide. You have to make that executive decision, right? And with the Queen of Wands, it's do it with confidence and know what you want. Go after, I'm hearing go after what you want instead of being discontent with what you don't have. It's that, you know, glass half empty versus glass half full. It's like you can sit and look at what you don't have, or you can decide how to move forward confidently to go after it. And then I asked what the block was because I'm nosy like that. And the block is the devil. And I think for them, I mean, the devil can be a lot of things, but it is depiction of Capricorn, right? Maybe they're getting in their own way. But I mean, it can be anything, right? It could be karmic. It could be, you know, I mean, the devil, come on, guys. It could be anything. It could be anything. We all have devils and demons, and they're all different. It's all very personal. So my devil could be somebody else's, you know, angel, but whatever Capricorn's dealing with, that they don't like, they need to change it. It's a choice. It's not something that's imposed on them. They can create their way out. They just got to do it. They got to have the confidence to do it. And then, so I looked at romance. I got the Eight of Swords in reverse with the Ten of Wands, the Lovers, and the Six of Wands. Again, there's, it's like if you're stuck, if you're unhappy, or if there's, this feeling of having your hands tied, Ten of Wands, feeling burdened by it. Lovers for me is a choice card. A lot of readers read it like, oh, it's the Lovers. I'm like, no, there's a choice here on the table that's a head over heart decision, and you're invested with your heart, but you might need to use your head. And so with the Six of Wands, it looks good. It looks like they're going to have a good outcome. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. But I feel like they need that. There's a decision. I mean, we've got twos here, right? There's a choice to be made. And the focus that they should be focusing on is letting go of that energy of feeling stuck and bored and out of balance, and kind of take the pony by the tail, right? And just kind of create their blaze. I'm hearing blaze their own path. And whatever that devil is, it's like, if you move fast enough, it won't catch up, is what I'm feeling.
Awesome.
I could see that. I think too, like with Capricorn, I think it's restriction. I think that, sometimes the most restriction isn't holding on tighter, it's letting go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, then you no longer have those burns of trying to hold on to something that's, needs to go make another loop before they come back. So I don't know, if it's not serving you, let it go. If it comes back, it's for you.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's my whole mantra for the entire freaking last couple of months is let what wants to go.
Totally.
Just let it go. Don't try to keep it. If it doesn't want to be there, let it go.
Yep.
It's like, it looks great. Six of Wands, Queen of Wands, Two of Wands, but there is a choice, and the choice is theirs. They can stay in this Queen or this Four of Cups, Eight of Swords energy with the Ten of Wands, or they can kind of choose to move beyond that. So, and it is going to get better. Six of Swords, Six of Wands.
Yay, that's a positive. I'm here for that, Capricorn.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so we have Aquarius.
Yay!
We are an Aquarius. Yeah, so Aquarius has been, they're
Happy
experiencing.
birthday!
What?
I said happy birthday to Aquarius.
Happy birthday, yes. Happy birthday to Aquarius. I have 3 Aquarius grandbabies. I have a lot of Aquarius. But Aquarius, this new moon is happening in your first house, and a lot of this Capricorn energy is going to be moving into Aquarius, except for Pluto. That's not going to happen quite yet. But Aquarius is experiencing like a complete overhaul of themselves. So, Aquarius, they may want to change a lot just about their appearance or how they show up in relationships. So with the Saturn there, they probably want to be careful, not just go. Aquarius has a tendency to be sort of on the trendy, sort of like breakout side. They dance to the beat of their own drum, and this new moon is happening in their first house. So they've probably got a lot of ideas in their head about how they want to break out and, sort of reveal the new them, in 2022. Saturn may be holding them back a little bit, and, Mercury as well in the retrograde, just to make sure they don't do something crazy. Because an Aquarius rising, there's no fear there. And emotionally, they don't roll it around in their head too much, right? It's like, if it makes sense logically, they just do it. They really don't think, they can detach from that emotionally. So it's kind of an exciting time for Aquarius. But I would definitely say, the rebel, the breakout, the revolutionary, they probably needed that little bit of like tension to pull them back and set those intentions and make sure they're doing something that's not too impulsive, and now they can move forward. So again, Mercury comes out of retrograde tomorrow and things start flowing forward. So good luck with the new you, Aquarius, if you've been working on that. Yeah.
So it's funny because the energy is the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles is regret, or it's past energy, right? Or it's Capricorn energy, right? So it's like holding on to something, being controlling, that kind of thing. But it's interesting because I feel like it's not that. I feel like with this card, like what I'm picking up is that I think you're looking at the past. Like I think that you're taking an active look that the past, so for some of you guys, is now in the present. It's now in the current, and its situation from beforehand is now coming forward, whether it's with a person, a place, or a thing, or just like a reoccurring theme. I feel like this is something that's coming back around out of nowhere. And I feel like you're sitting down and I think that you're reviewing your past. I think that you're really processing, you know, what's happened. Like there's something here because what you're focused on is the Six of Cups. The damn past. Okay? Or a Scorpio, or it's about how you've handled things in the past, right? It's about how you've managed certain things. I feel like you're gonna have an influx of memories, right? When you were a child, about your father. I feel like there's a lot of memories that are coming in here. And for some of you guys, the past, you're having some type of second chance at love. A second chance at love, or it's something about making, like if you've done something wrong in the past, it's like setting it right now, right? It's like this situation has came back around for another cycle because there's something that you were meant to do differently. And I feel like you are doing it differently because what can you expect? The Ace of Swords, clarity. I think that right now it's like you can't learn what to do in the future until you've really learned about how the hell we got here, right? It's like that thing when you're upset about something and you're pissed and you're angry, you're really not mad about that thing, right? It's usually something from your childhood that's triggered you. For instance, I hate lazy people, right? Like I hate lazy people. If you're lazy, stay the hell away from me, okay? I do not want to be your friend. I do not want you in my area. I do not like you, okay? Goodbye. So, you know, I would think it's that person that triggers me. Why would I care if a lazy person is lazy? That's none of my damn business, right? But it's something from my childhood where I was never allowed to be lazy. I was never allowed to skate, right? I was never allowed to half-ass anything. So for me, that trigger is really something emotionally. And I feel like Aquarius right now, you're going through this process where you're understanding that it's really your past issues and it's not a person you're dealing with, or it's not the situation, but it's how I don't know. I just think that they have a whole different clarity and a whole different vision on a level of enlightenment from what's going on with the past into the current. And I do feel like there's help from people that have passed away. I feel like there's ancestors that are pushing you in a certain direction. I feel like you're very protected right now, but there's something about the past that needs to be relooked at. That's what I think. Anybody else?
Awesome. I think that's great.
I feel like the so not just for these guys, I mean, like I said in the beginning of all of this, that we're still in eclipse energies. I mean, for several months you feel the eclipses, and so we get back to those karmic lessons and things that are being released, right? Endings. Or, well, I don't know, because, you know, I get the judgment a lot too. I think there's a choice for some people on what needs to be released and what needs to be revisited. But that's the kind of energy I get around it, is that it's kind of time to just tidy up the loose ends in certain situations, I guess, is the way I feel.
Well, I always think with judgment too, right? Like, I always imagine judgment is like aliens coming from the sky, right? Like, surprise, we're here. Oh, you thought about us, but now we're here, right? So right? Like, I feel like Aquarius is having one of these moments where it's like, oh shit, this is exactly what I thought this was happening, and now it's happening. It's very fascinating to kind of like watch them, like, from our perspective, um, to see this, there's a level of evolution that's happening like right before our eyes, like with Aquarius, and it's something from their past that's projecting them into their future. So it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm glad Melissa said, my
Yeah.
impulsive thinking people should be a certain way. If they cared for me, that tower fell hella hard. Sometimes it has to fall. Sometimes you have to hit it for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what comes after a tower, darling? A star.
A star.
Okay.
Hope and renewal comes after a tower, right?
That's
It's
right.
the lighthouse after
Yeah.
the dark, right? After the complete darkness. Then all of a sudden you see this big ass lighthouse. Like, that is the star. It's showing you where the hell you need to go. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, and if you're on an ascension journey, which I know a lot of our viewers are, that's totally like, especially with Aquarius, right? Because we're in the age of Aquarius.
Yes.
And
Almost.
so,
Soon.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, that star is, that's what is in the star. But Aquarius, the water bearer, pouring the water out upon the land, So Aquariuses are feeling a lot of stuff right now, I think.
Totally.
I agree.
Totally agree with that.
Most definitely. Okay, so hang in there, Aquarius. They're the ones that are good. They can get out there and bring humanity together. So they have the ability to think like that and bring folks together. So they're overhauling themselves for a reason. Okay, so Pisces. We have our final one is Pisces, and this is happening for Pisces in their 12th house, which is their home. That's where Pisces is most comfortable. In their subconscious, in their dreams, in their intuition. The new moon is happening there. That is, listen, they could be experiencing a lot of sudden insights. It could even be telepathic messages, prophetic dreams. They're going to find solace by themselves, cuddled up during this time. I don't think there's going to be a lot of breakout energy. It's all about, unpacking their subconscious. And really paying attention to what's coming to them that they can't see, but they can sense and feel. And that is, the ultimate healing, the ultimate elevation into unconditional love is to first understand and love what is already inside your own head before you can put it out there. So Pisces, 12th house, that is where this new moon is happening. And I really hope that they haven't been having a difficult time. I hope Saturn hasn't, maybe actually Saturn makes things real. And it's also the Lord of Time. So depending on where they're at in their journey, that their intuition could start to come to them in a much more real and tangible way, a clearer way, in a way that they can actually, where they can use that to help further their journey and help heal themselves and the people around them. I think this is a really good time for Pisces. It's really important for Pisces to also be careful that what's coming at them is actually like what they are seeing. There's not a lot of fog there. Watch out for the illusion too, because when you get too far into the dreaminess of things, which Pisces loves to do, and they're so good at it, they're so good at the alchemy of that area of life, that they also want to protect themselves from what might be coming in that doesn't, it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing kind of thing, right? So it's good to have a little bit of that grounding real reality of that Saturn that's traveling with this new moon in Aquarius. So you might have some interesting things happen subconsciously and intuitively that you can actually do something with. I think this is a really cool and healing time for Pisces. So set those intentions. I see there's a spiritual elevation, an elevation of unconditional love in a really big way that they're going to be able to use for
Yay.
themselves and for everybody else. So that's Pisces for this new moon. I think that's really cool, and I think that's an awesome one to end it on. For me anyway, for the astrology. So
Yay, Pisces.
yeah,
I'm so
Pisces. I like Pisces. Yeah. Yeah.
So over on this end, I'm just smiling here because like I needed to clarify a few things because I wasn't sure what was going on. But the energy I got for Pisces was the Hermit, the Hangman, and the Seven of Cups, which is spot on
Oh my
with what
gosh.
you were saying, like going within and really, I mean, they're showing up in their own reading with the Hangman, right? They're really looking at things with new eyes or from different perspectives. And with that Seven of Cups, it could be a little bit illusory. Is that how you say it? Illusory, where they could be romanticizing things or fantasize, like living in that fantasy world of, I mean, there's no pentacles here at all. Well, no, I take that back. There is in romance, but not in the general energies. So the energy is pretty much exactly what you said. But then I asked, where should they place their focus? And I got the Five of Wands with the Queen of Swords in reverse with the Justice card. It looks to me like there's some fighting or arguing or some kind of
competition.
opposition,
Oh,
yeah, that's
wow.
going on. I mean, Queen of Swords in the reverse is not a nice person. I mean, they can be in their light attribute, but when they're in the dark attribute, look out because you don't want to screw with the Queen of Swords when she's pissed. And if you look at Whitney's deck, you find that sweet spot again.
That's one of my favorite cards. I don't know why. I just love how fucking fired up he is. He's like, yeah, let's get it.
Yeah, and that's what it feels like to me. It feels like, somebody's fighting back. Justice. Somebody's standing up for themselves. Somebody's not taking it laying down anymore. And so I had to clarify that because I wanted to know, what's this fighting about? I got the Nine of Swords with the Ace of Cups, or I'm sorry, the Ace of Wands. And I'm like, well, no, wait a minute. That doesn't sound like something that's angry. And I thought, well, maybe they're fighting for love. Right? So I have to tell you why. So this is what happened. I got the Nine of Swords with the Ace of Wands. I'm thinking, okay, Ace of Wands, passion, fire, drive, new beginning, right? Nine of Swords, worried about it, stressed over it. And then, so I needed more clarity. I'm like, inquisitive minds need to know. And I got the Ace of Cups with the Two of Cups.
Ah, yes.
And so I feel like there's possibly for some Pisces, some stress around romance in this month, and whether or not they're with the Hermit, the Hangman, and the Seven of Cups, they're looking at their options. Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, come on, I want that in my reading. How come Cancer didn't get that? With the Two of Cups clarifying. And then so over here in what to expect, I got the Five of Pentacles with the Lovers and the Moon. What are we expecting? Well, we're expecting maybe communication or a choice that you don't see coming, because I feel like this Five of Pentacles is it just feels lonely out there, right? I don't know. But anyhow, the outcome, because I asked for the outcome on what to expect, is the Three of Pentacles. So it feels to me like, at least the energy I'm tapping into, that there could be some stuff going on in the home. There could be some fighting that, with justice. There could be breakups. There could be divorces. Nine of Swords with the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups, the Two of Cups. What do you think, Whit?
I think that Pisces is finally starting to love themselves, which is allowing them to love others. I think that Pisces has to figure out, like, they're worth it. And right. I think that the moment Pisces feels something, they just dive deep And it's almost like they're oblivious to everybody else. Like they don't really see how much, they impact others. I think that Pisces don't really realize the impact that they have on those around them, or even, creative projects or people that love them. I just think that for Pisces, because they dive so deep, there's a level of illusion with how they view people or how they view certain situations. And I just feel like in general, Pisces is now confident to start swimming up to the top, or else they're going to be left behind in a lot of situations, right? So it's like if you don't fight for what you want, you're not going to get it.
Well, and they're showing up in their own reading twice. I mean, there's 2 Pisces cards, and they got both of them, the Moon and the freaking Hanged Man. And so
it's a sacrifice.
Almost feels typical to me.
And Pisces is a sacrifice. They do sacrifice quite a bit. Whitney, that is like, that.
Because like there was this one deck that I had, and it was a lot of Native American type of like imagery, and one of the things on the card that I read was that it was like a rain dance, right? But it was somebody that was upside down being sacrificed for the rain, right? So there is some type of sacrifice that has to happen, because how things are hanging, how things are stuck in that energy, it's not positive. Because after the hangman hits 13, and everybody knows what's 13, it's death. So
right,
I would rather go to justice and do the right thing than to bop over to death.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Personally. And I don't see any 10s or anything. I see new beginnings, aces.
That's raw energy.
Yeah, and the outcome is the 3 of Pentacles, so it's foundational, it's sturdy, it's building something that can stand the test of time,
Well, the Ace of Cups and the 2 of Cups, what you're talking about, that is could be interpreted as the higher octave of love, the unconditional love that Pisces comes with Pisces, that is Neptune. So I think that kind of goes together, and that's actually a super cool. This is a cool time period for Pisces, and just before we go into Pisces season at the end of the month, and incidentally, when we hit Pisces season, Mars and Venus will be transiting conjunct, and it will be aspecting Neptune and Jupiter that's in Pisces. So I think the end of February into March, and we can talk more about that later. It's just kind of exciting for it's like I think there could be some really, really awesome and beautiful things happening for Pisces. So what a great way to end it. Do we want to do you guys like just close it out like with anything?
I just wanted to say something. I just wanted to say that just really quick. Sorry, I'm gonna be quick. I know I'm a Gemini. I know I'm long-winded, but I think it's important to say this, that as a collective, if we actually make a conscious decision to do the right thing and to move forward in a certain type of manner, what that does, have you guys ever heard of like that 100 monkeys, right? Where one started washing the fruit or something, and then the second one came and washed the fruit, and then all of a sudden, monkeys from all over the place started washing their fruit. That is the collective, right?
Yep, it is.
We are all connected in some way. And just think about it. If somebody is mean to you, you feel that, right? But you never ask like what happened to them. Well, maybe the person before what you didn't know is that the person before them was mean to them, right? So it's a trickle down effect, and in some sense, one negative whatever, right? That ultimately affects more people than just the person that you're in front of. So I think that having that type of conscious, energy around it, and knowing that your choice can change not just your life, but also many more. I think if we're able to set that tone, watch how much shit changes.
And that's Aquarius, right? That is the strong, that's the responsible, committed action of Saturn in Aquarius that you just described, Whitney, and it is what we're supposed to be moving towards. I mean, again, just the 3 of us here coming together, we all do different, we do different things and we interpret things differently, but it's an example of bringing people together. And look at all the people in the chat, mixing and mingling and coming together and supporting one another. And the new moon Aquarius kicks that off, and it's just the first of a long list of transits. I think 2022. I think there's immense possibilities for change in 2022. But I think we'll have to ride some waves. But if we all stick together, like you were saying, I think we can overcome almost anything. So it's about supporting one another. I love that.
Well, it's too. It's not like, you know, like in the Titanic where Rose is like, "I'll never let you go, Jack," and then pulls his finger and kicks him, right? Like when the bitch had like a whole door, like Jack's ass and about 3 other people could
yes,
right?
Yeah.
I feel like if that's not saying, "I'll never let you go," and then prying, you know, somebody's cold dead fingers and kicking them into the sea. I think it's giving them a hand and helping their ass on the board, right?
Yes.
So it's like that type of energy, but it's making that conscious decision that's not from a selfish base, but it's from a community as a whole.
It's a different expression of Aquarius because, you know, and we're not going to roast anybody, and I'm not talking about anyone, but there's a higher lower expression of everything, like, right? But Aquarius can be, I mean, it's a genius, it's the mad scientist, but it can be detached and not really be thinking about it. And so, you know, with all of this is designed to like alchemize and change things with all of the, you know, from the astrological standpoint, you know, the energies that are coming together and moving in and around is to actually do that and, you know, do things in a different way. Do things in a, you know, it's humanitarianism. It's you know, improving society. It's, you know, appreciating differences. It's moving into something new and different. So, I you know, Aquarius can be, you know,
so I
attached.
You guys know that I'm clairaudient, and it's so funny how things come into my hearing range. And so when you were talking about monkeys washing fruit, I was hearing, you know, well, they were showing me a vision of the movie The Ants, right? How all of the little ants kind of come together and go up against the few, you know, the many go up against the few. And it's for a better cause, right? And then I heard 100th monkey. When you were talking about the monkeys, the 100th monkey idea is tipping the scales in mass. You know, it's like united we stand, divided we fall. And I mean, look at what's going on in the world right now. There's so many people that are coming together for the greater good of humanity and fighting against, you know, the few. The many are fighting against the few, and they're realizing that in numbers they matter. They count. Their voice gets heard.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget too, you know, Aquarius is a logical sign. You know, it's cerebral and intelligent, but it is logical. So yeah, it's bringing a higher level, you know, like you talked about the star, the alchemy, the pouring, you know, I don't know the tarot, but you know what I'm saying? Like moving into something different. But you're doing it in a logical way, you know, bringing those things together. It's like bridging that gap, which is what we need to do because, and I've talked to you guys about it, it's not all about like, oh, we just need to meditate and say, you know, whatever it is you do, 20 Hail Marys and, you know, no, it's about actually how do we bring all of this into our practical lives coming from a logical world. It's like bridging the gap between spirituality and our day-to-day lives. And what can we do? We can all do something, right? We can all come up with some kind of crazy, mad scientist way of putting ourselves out there and bringing people together. So I just love this. Yeah, thank you. I want to thank you guys, like both of you, like really from the bottom of my heart. Like this is just awesome.
This was, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So just real quickly before we go, I just wanted to throw, because like I said, I hear things and they want me to say it. And so what I wanted to say is the age of Pisces was the age of sacrifice and seed planting. You know, Christ was a seed planter. He dropped these seeds into consciousness that if they found fertile soil, they grew. And if they didn't, they kind of withered away. But now the water bearer, what does the water bearer do with seeds? It waters them, it tends them, it is the growth that comes from the seeding of consciousness. We've been seeding consciousness for a long time, and now it's time for us to actually cultivate what we've been sowing.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Anyway, you guys, I want to shout out, like, Whitney, thank you so much. I mean,
Oh, thank you guys.
everybody, you know, like, our names are above. You can find Whitney at Accurate AF Tarot if you're looking for intuitive guidance. Like, Whitney, and Whitney works. Whitney is your style. She's funny. She, like, there
I'm
she
gonna
is.
make
And
fun of you.
she'll make
I'm
fun
just
of you.
kidding.
And then there's
And
Tracy,
beautiful.
who's like, and beautiful. And there's Tracy at TR's Tarot Talk 1111, who, as she mentioned, she works really closely with the divine connection, soul, you know, deep level sacred soulmates and light workers and ascensions. So, like, everybody go look for Tracy. And
Yes.
yeah, I mean, this is
Go follow
the
everybody.
support. Yeah, go follow
Yeah.
everybody. If you need an astrology reading, I'd love to read for any of you because
Fantastic. Julene is fantastic. I told you. She can call out an event. She'll say someone's gonna really piss you off, or you find out that they said this, and your mom's ugly, or something like that. And then you go look, and then boom, it's all there, right? You know,
wow.
like that's Julene. So yeah, amazing insight, especially if you're somebody that needs the logical behind the intuitive aspect. It's all there on paper. Oh yeah, I'll try to put. So they're asking for links. So let me see if I can.
Thanks.
T.R.S. Tarot Talk, right? Tarot Talk.
I'm gonna post this video, hopefully from Tracy's channel, onto my channel at some point. I don't know if I'll do it tonight, but I'll pull it down. So that because we could only get on one clear channel. But thank you, Whitney. Yeah, it posts the links. You know, mine is you know what mine is.
So for those of you guys that can't find Julene, do me a favor, comment in the chat
Okay,
with your Jove Star Tarot one so that they can click on it.
got
It is it's hard to find her, that's for sure. But let me see if I can just grab like a random video of Julene's. Hold on. So at least you'll have a video. Give me a second.
And then Tracy's let me stole astrology, and I'm gonna put my email also if anybody wants to get a hold of me in there because it's in.
Yeah,
it's in
I made a typo. I'm sorry.
For what?
I was in a hurry. I put Jovi's soul.
well,
astrology.
and I so like retypoed. Let me retype yours too, Tracy. NT. It's okay. We're all trying to type fast.
Well, I was stressed. I was extremely stressed with my phone and all the technology that was going wonky on me today. So you guys calmed me down. I was like ready to snap. I was. Oh,
I was
by
ready
the
for
way,
a nap.
we didn't mention it, but I was hoping we would mention that today was the Uranus return, right, for the United States. Is that today? And so were we considering going live and doing something around that?
Yeah,
we might
we're
want
working on doing, we've been talking a lot about this because today is the United States Pluto return, and astrologically, it's a big event. I mean, none of us as human beings will ever have a Pluto return, right? Because we just won't. That's when a planet, when you have a return, it comes right around to all the way around to the exact point where it started. And so the United States has never had one, and it's starting. And Pluto's been transiting since 2008. It's going to continue, and things are going to change. Pluto changes things permanently. So Tracy and Whitney, it's like I've been talking about this with my mentor and my teacher, just predicting and looking at the astrology. But talking with Tracy and Whitney, it's like intuitively, they have said like the craziest things about what they're feeling and what they're seeing that's coming up, and it really matches this Pluto return. It's kind of scary. The things
Prepare.
right?
Get your water. Get whatever. I don't know. I think now is the time for us to prepare.
So
Get
we're
extra
gonna do
water.
this video. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. So we're gonna have two astrologers if we can get this technical. If we can't get this worked out, we're gonna do it on Zoom. It's not gonna be as pretty, but we're gonna make it happen. because I think this is important. But we'll have a couple of astrologers and then the intuitive psychic piece, and we're gonna break this down. And the plan is to do it on Saturday and really talk about this Pluto return and what it means for the United States. There is history. Other countries have experienced Pluto returns where the entire governmental structures changed, different things. But whatever happened, it's like the landscape of the society was completely different. So, there's lots of different levels. It's, in the material, but it's also, in our spirituality, it's just a complete change. So it's going to be fun to talk about like what they're getting psychically and what we're seeing astrologically. So please, when you see the notices, oh my gosh,
jump on it.
Like, these ladies are like
It's gonna be
crazy,
fire.
mad.
Yeah.
They have like psychic antennas, both of these guys. Like, I read the astrology. They've got like, oof. Anyway, it's going to be totally
You don't
fun.
just read the astrology. I keep telling her this, like she channels around the
I told her the
astrology.
same thing.
And that
Yeah.
Gemini brain of hers keeps wanting to make all logic. And truly, when
No,
I
let's
hear
see.
you
I don't know.
talking about astrology, so I channel messages, and I get a hold of Julene, and I'm
You
like,
did. You both did. Thank you.
I
told her that
channel
for years.
messages, and I have to get a hold of Julene. I'm like, listen, my spirit guides are saying that Chiron's doing this, and this, and this, and this is going on. Is this real? And he's like, oh, absolutely. And like my guides channel to me things I don't know, and I have no. I'm like, can you break that down in layman's terms? Because I even get sometimes quantum physics, and they want me to draw graphs and shit, and I'm like, listen, this is outside of my scope of knowledge. So I get a hold of Julene. I'm like, hey, Julene, I kind of feel like Lilith is out there doing some nasty stuff.
Lilith will do nasty stuff. Watch the hell out for your Lilith. Right? We got double talking Lilith and Gemini right now. You got to be careful of her. Sorry, Whit. Go ahead.
Wait a minute, I'm a Lilith and Gemini. Hold my
I
beer.
know. I'm kidding. I know.
No, I'm just kidding.
Just joking.
No, I think, I think it's dope to have both aspects.
Yeah.
I think that you have what's physically, right? Something you can physically see, the astrology that you can read, that you can back it up. And then you have the, the intuitive aspect that I think adds the spice on top of it.
Yeah.
Gives certain details, right? I feel like astrology is the structure, and then intuition is like all the shit on top of it. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you, Carrie,
Yeah,
bro.
Lilith
I
is
see your
better.
comments, Carrie. Like, you're going to make me blush. And thank you, everybody. Like, you guys are the bomb. I love this. I'm so excited that we're planning on doing more, like, collaborations. Here's the thing I want to say about Whitney and Tracy, and even this is truly the way I feel. And, like, supporting one another, even on this platform, is like, that's really giving of yourself. Like, there's no competition. These ladies have the biggest heart. They truly are giving, and they believe that what you give, you get back 10 times over, and they live that. And that is not something, learning how all of this works, that I've heard a lot of people say they feel that way, but to actually walk the talk, like, these ladies are amazing, and I'm so happy to have started relationships with them, and they're going to last a long time. I mean, we've known each other a long time, but now actually coming to this platform, I'm telling you, like, they're special. There's nothing inauthentic about either of these ladies.
Am I blushing?
Not one thing. And I say
No,
that.
I'll tell
It's
you
like,
to fuck yourself real quick.
She will. That's
You
the
always know
thing.
what you said would be.
What
I'm
you see
double
is what you
cancer.
get. It's like,
I won't tell you
exactly.
to fuck yourself. I'll just watch you do it.
I just, I have no, coot. So,
Yeah.
Real quick before we go, in the chat room, somebody asked if the dollar will crash. And we could go deeper into that with
Pluto.
when we do the Pluto return video. But intuitively, I feel like we are literally, it feels like a swap to me, like we're swapping one for another.
Currency.
Like something else is replacing it. So I don't feel a crash. I feel a implementation of something better, like
I
replacing.
agree. I think we could have a correction that looks like something's going to crash, but it's just, you've got to have a deep, reduction of one thing before it rises into something else. And I think that we have seen, even since 2008, when we had the financial crash, we've seen our currency and how we deal with money change. It's only going to change more. So there's going to be I'm going to say there's going to be a transformation of how we see that. And I agree, Tracy. And I think it's going to go from one to the other. But just like with any other Plutonian thing or Scorpionic thing, it goes like this and breaks apart and then, reforms, kind of like a butterfly, inside of a cocoon. So it's not pleasant, doesn't feel good, but, I
feel like cryptocurrency is going to be heavy. Those NFTs or whatever the hell it is, even though I think it's like a Ponzi scheme with the NFTs. I think that's going to be big. I also think that it's going to be interesting if people are buying gold.
I agree. And silver. Agreed.
Yes.
Whitney, I think you're right.
Like,
yeah. Silver and gold. I think you're totally
any metals,
right.
actually. I think we're going back. Well, I don't want to get into the political side of things, but when you're in the petrodollar, there's nothing backing it. It's printed money. And because of that, that's what's failing. It's what's not substantially being supported. And so that has to change. If it doesn't change, then we will have some kind of crash, because you can't just keep printing paper money with nothing to back it.
Well, it's funny because you said like the world is in debt, right? Like 200 billion, and it's like, who the fuck are we in debt to? If it's the world, who the fuck does the world owe?
Right, exactly. And how's that going to shake out? See, I think when we do this Pluto return video, all of those things we can cover, among other things, and it's going to be fun. And you know what? It's something that is ongoing. So we might be even able to talk about these things throughout the year, in just new and, more different pieces of it. But I think they're going to see that's one part of it, right? The financial. That was a really good question. And I think that, I think we all agree.
I do want to say that, I do want to say this with controversial topics, right? Because essentially that's what this is going to be when we start talking about it. I think YouTube is going to stop the spread of it. So if you guys do tune into it, or if you guys do see it, make sure you mark it on the calendar, because I don't know how long it will be up. And then also do spread it out, because I think that that's information that certain people like to restrict, because the more knowledge you have, the better you can prepare and that type of thing. So once you watch it, share the video, save the video, whatever, so that you can kind of go back and see what was said, because I think it's going to be interesting what's to come.
I think that's really a good point. And, with Pluto, it's like what comes to the surface finally before it transforms are a lot of times things that we weren't aware of, that was going on, that could have been going on underneath, undercover, and
I'm gonna
come out for everybody to see. Yeah.
Intuitively speaking, that's exactly what's going to happen. And you guys can call me out on it later if you want to. But a lot of stuff well, maybe not we, but people, the collective, doesn't know that is happening, is going to come to the surface. And there's going to be so much, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, you guys help me. Revealed. There's just going to be a lot revealed. Yeah. And that came out in my last channeling when I did a message around the Cancer moon. Was, it was like a detox, like everything that's been boiling, literally coming to the surface, like pimples, and it's like anything toxic is going to be purged.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what light does. I mean, you bring enough light in, it's gonna bring things out.
Yeah.
Anyway, that does make sense.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Sure.
So anyway, I think it's going to be interesting conversation, and kind of bringing the conversations that we have been having out to all of you, and so we're excited to do that for sure. Anyway, thank you so much, you guys. I love both of you, and you guys are awesome. Thank you. Ah,
Thank you. I'm gonna go take my
I'm
ass to
gonna
bed.
stretch. It's like time, maybe like to the
I'm in it anyhow. 11:27
I
here.
know, right? Well, it's later there. Here's me, whining about well, I'm not whining, but I'm like, I could go to sleep, and you guys are 2 hours ahead of me. Of course, I am older than both of you, so I get a pass. Right?
By
I think it's
what?
earlier
What?
than you.
3 months?
I don't know.
Not much. I think we're the same age, aren't we?
I think we are. Well,
Yeah.
poor Whitney over there. She's like, I need my beauty sleep.
Listen, I sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning, so it's not even, it's not like I'm over there like, right? Like I gotta get up and record and actually go to my job. Or
You guys are my Cancer friends, and I'd be willing, even though we can't see your feet, you guys got fuzzy slippers or big, thick, fuzzy socks on. I just know it. I know it. Let's see. Come on now. See, I told you.
Victoria's Secret.
I love it.
Yep.
I have to admit, this is probably the first time in 3 months I haven't had slippers on my feet, and I've been sitting here shivering, thinking, why did I wear a shirt with cut out sleeves? Because I'm cold. So when I get off of here, I'm gonna put my slippers on, put my fuzzy, warm jammies on, make me another cup of decaf-free tea, and just
My
chill.
God.
I'm the one that's over here like in Miami in a turtleneck. Pants.
Yeah, but you guys are having a cold snap in Miami, right? You're
It's
talking
back
about
to
like frozen. Oh, it's back to okay.
Listen,
Okay.
the iguanas are back and they're kicking. Okay, they're out here
All right.
running the streets again. So
Just put them on ice. Well, here in Arizona, it's actually cold for Arizona. So we've been today I think our high was like, okay guys, Tracy, close your ears. Probably like 60. But that's cold for us when it gets down to like the 30s, the mid 30s in the overnight. But I'm wearing flip-flops. Like we're the people here where this, Whitney, where we wear sweats and flip-flops and nobody
that's
even
what I
cares.
do. I hate
Yeah.
shoes. I'm only wearing flip flops or heels. Catch me outside.
So
It's like, what? Something wrong with this?
It is.
No.
Julene, it is currently 32 degrees here.
Oh.
Yeah, expected to drop to 11 degrees. Winter storm warning. Anywhere from 16 to 31 inches of snow expected in the snow belt. And I live in the snow belt.
No thanks.
No,
And
thank you.
so when you guys are putting on your sweaters and your little
Fluffy flippers.
fluffy slippers, just think of Tracy over here going.
That's
Oh
why
my gosh.
that's why I'm here, because I'm like, I do not want the cold. So
No, I don't think it's too much. You know what? It's like, I don't really mind the cold, but it's too much like hassle. Like for a Gemini sun and rising and a Leo moon, I just want to like, come on, snappy. It's like, I have to scrape a window and shovel snow. Hell no, I'm staying in. Like that's too much like trouble. Like I just don't, if I can't do it quick, I don't know I don't think I want to do it. Yeah.
A week ago, my car was literally buried under 2.5 feet of snow. You couldn't see it. Couldn't even see it.
Yeah.
sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Okay. Well.
All right, ladies. Good night. Thank you
Love
so
you
much.
guys.
I had so much fun, and
Love you.
maybe the next time we'll get all these little glitches
Oh my
out
gosh.
of the way. And,
Right?
it's not. Hey, listen. First of all, I just want to say thank you because you and your son have done so much
Oh my
to
God.
make these
Thank
things
you.
happen. I mean, I can't tie my shoe with a phone in my hand.
So he texted me after we started the live, Whitney, and he said to me, "Tell Whitney that because this happened with the stream. He's like, I'm gonna go and set her stuff up for her and go through all of her settings myself. I'm gonna do it for her." He said, "Because there's something wrong with Whitney's stream. It's happened twice and only on your side."
I think it's because I didn't select it.
Could be, but
There's
he
some,
wants to help you, like go through it with you and make sure that you don't have this trouble anymore on your own lives that you do by yourself or with us. So he felt that.
well, tell him I said thank you. I appreciate it.
And
Thank you.
yeah, and Tracy, of course, like he is really well, he's a darn Libra, but
You know how Libras are.
I know.
Charm.
It's awesome.
All right, I'm taking my ass to bed, okay? 'Cause
Right?
my ass will be up in 4 hours, 5 hours. I lied, 5 hours.
Okay, I'm
So-
gonna stop the stream. Goodbye, everybody. Bye bye. Night night.
See you later.
Yay.